Yo, 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 and hello, and welcome to the 167th episode of GameSpeak Podcast. New episodes go up for free feed subscribers every Wednesday in audio format on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and all of your favorite podcast platforms, as well as in video format on YouTube, so you can see us in stunning HD, where we need you to hit subscribe and click that notification bell. We are now streaming live every Tuesday at 7:40 p.m. CST on twitch.tv/GameSpeakPodcast if you want to catch the show as it happens before anyone else. This show is two childhood BFFs bringing you all things video games. You can find us online at createforsanity.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter to never miss an episode and buy sick t-shirts from our shop. Also, be sure to join the community in the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/GameSpeakPodcast to hang and talk games with other nerds like us. I'm one of your hosts, JAMAL Jafra, alongside Brent, Elephant Gun Bass.
Elephant Gun, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know where I was going to go with that one. But
it sounds intimidating.
Yeah, it's a little threatening.
Yeah, it's threatening, menacing even.
I'd put your threat level at like a 2.
Yeah, but when you
2 out of 10.
You call me Elephant Gun though, does it raise it up to like a 5 or a 6 at least?
Yeah, because so imagine you are in prison. All right, you're in prison, and a new person gets brought into the prison system, which according to System of a Down, there's a lot of people in prison.
Yeah.
So
System of a Down would know.
Yeah, they would know. Anyway, so they walk in and they're like, "Who's that guy?" Like, "Oh, that's Elephant Gun Brent Bass."
Why is he called Elephant Gun?
You don't want to fucking know, bro. Yeah, so like, I think it does make you a little bit more intimidating. Now, if everybody was like, "Oh, that's Brent Bass over there," not intimidating.
Not intimidating. Not even a little bit.
But Brent Elephant Gun Bass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very big gun.
Yeah, it's I like that.
It's a little bit of a weird gun. Like,
yeah.
Do you think they used it to kill elephants?
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what when you say elephant gun, that's what I imagine. Is like a really big gun that's made for killing elephants.
No, those guns with like the funnel end?
Oh.
That's what an elephant gun is.
I bet they are made for killing elephants.
Just like, why does it have to look like, why does the barrel look like a funnel? I don't understand the concept.
Maybe it's like one of those ye old muskets where you just put whatever the fuck you can find in there.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay. So there's like rocks and shit.
Yeah, maybe you're just shooting a bunch of rocks.
God.
I don't know, man. That doesn't seem like it would kill an elephant.
Old time weaponry was weird as fuck. How come we don't have modern day versions of elephant guns?
I don't know.
Just like it looks like a
trash cannon from like Fallout. Like
yeah, like it looks like from the barrel, like the stock in the like the back part of the gun looks like a fucking M16, but then it comes to this giant funnel that it's just like
that would be hilarious if like a army was like invading a town and they all had like fucking like megaphones just like with clips on them, just like.
It's like, I don't want to find out what that shit does.
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
scary,
you guys win.
For sure, yeah. I wouldn't even test it.
No, me either. Anyways, so what you been up to this week?
Oh, not much, man. I've just been, well, first of all, I got to say, my girlfriend showed me this app earlier. It's really cool. I feel like I got to tell people about it.
Is it called Zoop?
No. What is Zoop?
I don't know. I just made that up.
Okay, so it's called Picture This, okay?
All right.
And it's an app on your phone where you, like, take a picture of plants or flowers and, like, it identifies the plant.
Oh, shit.
It's really cool. Like, my girlfriend was looking at these flowers earlier, and she's like, "Oh, I'll just sheep," and she took a picture of it, and it was like this kind of flower. It was really neat. And the app is called Picture This. It's totally worth looking into.
It's like a real life version of a Pokédex, but
exactly.
But for plants. They should have that for animals too,
dude,
like an actual Pokédex.
The technology blows my mind. You don't even have to like if it's a flower. You don't even have to get like the flower. You can get like the leaf of the flower, and it will like identify the whole plant.
This is the future we asked for.
It really is. This kind of technology is like freaking really cool. Like, and it works well, like really well.
And it works okay. Yeah. No, that's pretty interesting, especially for plant lovers out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think if you're a plant lover, or if you're just even amazed by like cool technology like that, you'll definitely be into this.
Oh, cool. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I also made some upgrades to my computer this week. I'm pretty happy about.
What'd you do?
I went ahead and got a 2 terabyte SSD and added it on. So now I have like never-ending amounts of space, which is fucking awesome. Except it's kind of weird because like I got home with my 2 terabyte SSD, right? And I plug it into the computer, and it's actually only like 1.8 terabytes, which, you know, I'm a little bit like, okay,
Did you get it on Wish?
No, I bought it on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, it's whatever. I'm not tripping, you know. I would have still bought it if you had advertised it as a 1.8 terabyte hard drive, you know what I mean?
Maybe they sent you the wrong one.
I don't know. Either way, I still have a dick load of space. You know what I mean? I got this like 3 or 4 days ago, and I've been downloading games to it like nonstop since then. And like, I still have like over half of the hard drive. You know what I mean? Like, so.
How much did a 2 terabyte SSD cost you?
It wasn't cheap. Well, first of all, it's external, right?
Okay.
So keep in mind, you could get like a normal 2 terabyte hard drive or external hard drive for like $60, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that it's an SSD makes this exponentially more expensive. You know what I mean? So
what are we talking here?
It was like $200. But that's actually a really good deal for a 2 terabyte external SSD. You know what I mean?
Damn. Yeah, that's a good deal. I don't want a good deal. Just kidding.
But I mean, if you were playing on your like Xbox or something, you know what I mean, and you wanted extra space, you could achieve 2 terabytes of extra space for like $60.
Yeah.
And it's so worth it. It's so worth it. Like to just not have to download games, like to leave games that I might want to play on. You know what I mean? Like now I finally have Warzone on there, and it's not like
which you should have.
We got to talk about it later, but I definitely want to play next time you go on stream. I'm excited. I've got it downloaded. It's ready to go. I even played a little solo match earlier, and I'm terrible, but I'm ready to go.
Yeah, dude. Hey, that's all right. You start terrible, and you get minutely better.
And you stay.
You get a little bit better.
But then I also made another upgrade. I got a second monitor. Right? So
okay.
I have like a little monitor and a big monitor. You know what I mean?
For what?
Well, the big monitor is a 2K resolution and like a 60 hertz or a 75 hertz refresh rate, and the little monitor has a 1080p resolution and a 144 hertz refresh rate. So games that like need I don't know, it depends on the game I'm playing. I'll switch it to like either screen, or like you can use like both screens at the same time if you want to like surf the web and watch videos, and it's pretty cool.
Damn, dude, you gotta chill out over there. You're fucking gonna get stuck, dude. You're just gonna become like a bunkered down like computer nerd.
I already have, bro. I'm like.
Yeah, like
I've like become one with the internet, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna just start jacking yourself into the computer.
I'm like already in the Matrix, man. Next week I'm just gonna come and I'll be speaking in like ones and zeros and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh God, all of your fucking like keyboard and mouse and everything is gonna be like rainbow colored, and like you're just going down that rabbit hole.
Oh, bro, mine came with like a rainbow colored keyboard and mouse.
Oh wow,
dude, check this out though. Fucking, I'm not going to talk about most of the stuff because, you know, it's just currently playing would just be ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, Epic Games Store has the sale going on right now where they're selling all kinds of games for, like, $5. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
wow.
I've been playing, like, a bunch of, like, old games that I've already played, like Red Dead 2 and, like, Far Cry 5 and stuff. And, like, dude, they look so much better on the computer. It's just, like, freaking amazing to, like, just, I don't know. Especially Far Cry 5 is like gorgeous on the fucking PC. Sorry.
I remember people saying that. So, well, that's good to hear, man. I'm glad that you're becoming further and further into the master race that is PC gamers.
It's okay. It won't matter in a little bit whenever the next consoles come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we're gonna be surpassing the highest end PCs. No, we'll see. We'll see how that all goes.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
you'll be on like par with the highest.
Nope, the best. Yeah. So I've been watching more Lost.
Oh, are you lost?
Where am I? No, yeah, I'm still lost. Season 2.
Did they explain the polar bears?
No. Honestly, I'm just getting more and more lost as this show goes on.
Yeah.
Like every time you think you're starting to get
hatch?
something,
Are they in the...
they've already dismantled the hatch.
They're in the hatch.
Yeah, they've already gone into the hatch.
Okay. We're dealing with the timer now, or
yeah. So the timer's happening. A specific child character is missing.
oh, okay.
Like I don't want to ruin it.
This is like prime Lost, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This is where Lost was at its like finest in my eyes.
So
you know?
the second season.
Not necessarily the second season. Like first through like third season were like really good of Lost, in my opinion.
Everyone says the last season's the best season.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I watched that far. I need to go back and redo it. It
Yeah.
always loses me about season 4 or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I could see getting like I feel like I've like been kind of like not paying attention so much like on certain episodes because it's just kind of like like
Yeah.
certain parts of it it's like I can not pay attention and still know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'll still be lost. No, but anyways, but yeah, so I've been watching that. I am looking for old retro games. If you have retro games, this is a PSA. If you have retro games, talking anything, from the NES or even before the NES and up to like the OG Xbox, GameCube, PS2 era, anything in between, don't care if it's portable, whatever, let me know because I will probably buy it from you as long as it is in working condition. I'm trying.
So what are you gonna do with all this stuff?
I'm just trying to get my collection back up. Like I have a decent
you had a
collection,
good collection
right now.
there for a while, yeah.
I still do. I still have quite a bit of stuff. I still have a couple of OG Xboxes and stuff like that. But I'm thinking about on the weekends, kind of just like chilling at this flea market and like running a table selling retro games. Well, like,
oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, and like just so I can get more, like, but not have to spend any money really. So what I'm gonna do is like at the table, like offer to trade with people and stuff like that. So that's kind of gonna be my way of getting my collection to grow. So I'm gonna have a table at this flea market.
Have you checked out like bulk buys on eBay and stuff?
That shit is so whack, dude. You are literally losing money so heavily on any of those. Like it's so stupid. I went through and I was like running the numbers, like doing like a price guide checks and stuff like that, and like it's just impossible to get games at their value or even like a little bit less than their value, especially if I'm going to turn around and sell it at like a flea market.
There's nobody just selling like a huge box of games for like $30 or something?
No, and the ones who do, they're doing bids. So like you have all these people who own game stores and stuff like that coming on there and like bidding for it. Like there's like 30 bids on every single one that's like that. And it's like, okay, by the time this bidding is done, it's going to be so past the point of where it's worth it.
Maybe you should look on like Craigslist and stuff. That
Dude,
might be.
I've been on everything.
Yeah.
Craigslist, OfferUp.
Have you like looked in different like weird towns and stuff throughout Texas?
Yeah, well, I've just done like a
'cause if you're willing to drive
50-mile radius.
Yeah.
But so I'm looking at that. Like I just went to the flea market this past weekend and got Crimson Skies for 50 cents. Like perfect condition, not a scratch on that bitch.
Wow. That's a gem right there.
It is a gem. And I have a bunch of OG Xbox games. So like I want to build that collection a little bit more. That was like one of my favorite eras of gaming.
Oh, hey, you might check out Goodwill in Huntsville. I saw a bunch of random old school games they had over there. I couldn't look at it because they had them all behind the counter. I guess people were probably stealing them or something. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
they had a lot of Xbox 360 games and what looked like PS2 games or something like that.
That'd be dope. Yeah, I got a lot of good stuff. A lot of my collection came from Goodwill, honestly. Like
Goodwill is one of those little hidden gem places that people don't think about when it comes to stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, man. One time at the Goodwill in Willis, I stopped by there one time. I had no cash on me, which I wish I would have at the time. But they had 2 of the Jungle Green N64s with like they were a perfect condition. They had the Jungle Green controllers with them. They were selling both of them for $40.
Dude,
like
what?
You could buy both of them for $40. This was whenever I was like a little bit younger and didn't have much money. So but those things are worth like over $100 each.
Oh, I bet.
You know, like it's freaking crazy that I missed that opportunity.
Dang.
But
I had a similar situation at a Goodwill in Galveston. Same thing. I didn't have a lot of money, but they were selling an old school PS1 still in the box with the controllers, like in the box, like
damn,
fucking for like $20.
It's so crazy what Goodwill will turn around and sell.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing at the flea market. Like, it's like these older, like Hispanic, couples like that I'm buying these games from. And I guess their kids like they barely speak English, but I'm guessing their kids had these games and just like, they're like, we'll just sell it,
Yeah.
And so you'll see like all these NES games that like, it's weird because it's hit or miss. Either they'll sell it, they'll put games that are worth a shit ton of money for $10, and then they'll put games that are shitty and maybe worth $1 for $10. They just put them all at the same price. So like,
see, if you know your shit, you can find the good stuff.
Exactly. So like, I just like walk up and I'm like, this game is really like, even if you go and look on the internet, it's worth like $2, and you're trying to sell me this game for $10. And like just show it to them. Yeah. Like I'll show them the price online. And like, oh, okay, fine. $2. They don't really care. They're just trying to get rid of it. So, but I just like going to flea markets and stuff like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do.
If you ever come across a PlayStation Vita in your adventures, let me know. Because, like, I found one earlier today. It was like $130 for a PlayStation Vita. I was like, damn, that's a little steep for a console that's not even supported anymore or anything, So all I want to do is play Persona 4, But it's like, I don't really think there's any other way to play it other than through PS Vita or, like, PS2, I think. But the PS2 version has like 20 hours less content or something like that. I feel like I might as well play the good one. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's one of those things I might just have to like emulate or something one day,
For sure. Yeah, you might have to. I think that's why I think the Vitas got jailbroken. Like somebody figured out how to jailbreak them. That's probably why they're so expensive still.
Oh. Because I remember like a few years ago seeing them for like $70 or something, and now it's like $130. I'm like, damn. And then I looked online, and it's like that seems like it's actually kind of a good deal because like if the other places are selling for like $160 to $200,
Yeah, that's like with the PSP. The PSP was jailbroken, and so like it survived way longer than it was getting support because people would just put fucking emulators and shit on it.
I had my PSP jailbroken when I was like young. I had like all kinds of MP3s and movies and shit like downloaded on.
Fuck yeah, you could play like NES games on it.
It was
everything.
Sick, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so let's jump into the video game news. Just so you guys know, we're using articles from gaming news sites from around the web, and we do not claim the news articles as our own. We're just bringing them all to one place for you, giving commentary on them. So let's start this out with. Wait, hold on. Do I want to start with that? That's not big enough news. Let's start with something a little bit more interesting.
Hit them with the big.
This isn't the biggest, but it's interesting. So this is by way of Michael McWhorter at Polygon. Silent Hill's iconic monster, Pyramid Head, is coming to Dead by Daylight, the 4v1 asymmetrical multiplayer horror game. Yeah, so...
I love that. I feel like Dead by Daylight, while it's kind of a cash grabby game because every DLC is like $10 and there's so many DLCs.
Yeah.
They're all really good DLCs, Like, they've got the Scream guy. They've got, like, Michael Myers, Like, if you're a real avid horror movie fan, Dead by Daylight really ticks a lot of boxes. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, definitely. And I think Pyramid Head... showing up in this game, like it kind of I think this proves that there's a Silent Hill in the works now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It kind of gives credence to that. But
if nothing else, it definitely like makes you think like, okay, it could be happening. You know what I mean?
I think it is. I think this is a marketing thing. I think it's to get people thinking about it again, talking about it. But so it says alongside other content inspired by Konami's psychological horror franchise. So there's more. It says Pyramid Head.
Maybe they have a level.
No. Well, yeah, they do have a level.
They do?
New survivor Cheryl Mason and the Midwich Elementary School map are now live.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I bet the school is so scary, dude. I bet they have the nurses and shit. Oh man.
Oh yeah, dude. It says Dead by Daylight's public test build on Steam. It's now live on there, and it will be released widely on PC and consoles on June 16th. So you still have to wait a little while. But
Dead by Daylight is actually on Xbox Game Pass right now. I'm pretty sure on PC and
you're right.
console. So might be worth looking into, or maybe it's just on PC. I'm not sure, but I know it is on Game Pass on one of the platforms.
Yeah.
So
no, that's awesome.
You'll probably still have to buy the DLC if you want to play the.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I think it just is like if you want to play as the character, like I think you can still play on the maps and stuff because it'll put you in like the multiplayer lobbies or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I've never played it, so I don't know how that would work.
Either way, even if you're just playing the base game, it's still a lot of fun. Like, and that's another thing. Like, you can get into lobbies with like people playing as the monsters that are like,
that you haven't unlocked.
So like, you could still get in a game where you're a survivor trying to survive against Pyramid Head.
I think I would much rather have to survive than actually play as Pyramid Head.
See, I like being the killer. I don't know. I think it's kind of fun.
Is it?
I think there's two kinds of people that play it, and that it really does a good job of like suiting both, parties' play styles and like wants. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna have to play it since it's free. Well, not free, since it's on Game Pass. So
it's a lot of fun. I personally like it anyways. I think you'll find like the killer you like or the survivor you like. That's the trick, is finding the character that you like works with your play style the best. You know what I mean? And finding people that are fun to play with. Like if you're a survivor, it's a lot more fun if you have people that are like, willing to work with you and stuff.
I'll never work with anyone. No, just kidding. What do you got?
Okay. The next generation is fast approaching, but so far we haven't seen many games for either of the new platforms. That could change soon, as Sony said in a recent investor meeting that it is preparing to show off its PlayStation 5 lineup. In a Sony corporate strategy meeting, the company said it plans to, quote, introduce a compelling lineup of titles soon for the new platform. That phrasing is vague enough that it could be any time, but considering the console is still targeting a fall launch, we expect to see more details sometime over the summer. So, I don't know. Not really much news there, I guess, but it's just, we should be expecting a launch lineup soon. I think we're going to have some kind of event where they show all the games that it's going to launch with soon,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's coming for both, Xbox and PlayStation. I think we'll get it on Xbox before we get it on PlayStation.
Well, we know when an Xbox is happening.
Yeah, July.
In the 20th of July or something. It's like a specific day already,
For sure.
But that's just their first party titles. We've already seen a lot of the stuff Xbox is dropping with.
Yeah, I like how that article just kind of slighted Xbox. They were like, we don't know anything about any games coming, and it's like we just saw like a whole lineup of like 12 games that are coming to the next generation.
I think it was just like specifically saying for PlayStation, but
Yeah. Okay. If it was just talking about PlayStation, I thought it just meant in general, like we haven't seen anything for the next gen. I'm like, we just saw 12 games. Like that's a shit ton.
And I think most of those games will be on PlayStation also.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, so Jeremy Winslow at GameSpot says, with the ongoing coronavirus pandemic still disrupting in-person gatherings, Blizzard has confirmed that this year's BlizzCon is not happening. Quote, during this time, we've had many discussions about what holding a convention could look like in light of all the health and safety considerations we'd want to make. BlizzCon's executive producer Sarah Lynn Smith wrote in a statement. Quote, we've also talked about different paths we could take and how each one could be complicated by fluctuations in national and local health guidelines in the months ahead. Ultimately, after considering our options, we've come to the very difficult decision to not have BlizzCon this year. End quote. Smith went on to say that while this year's BlizzCon is a no-go, the company is considering some kind of online format for early next year. Nothing is set in stone right now, but Blizzard will share more information about these plans as things develop. So if you were excited about BlizzCon, you don't get BlizzCon.
Yeah, that's what you get, you commies.
Yeah, you commie bastards. More like BlizzCom.
Oh, you Blizz commies.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. The Last of Us 2 is just a month away, and Sony has now debuted a limited edition PS4 Pro bundle that will launch alongside the game. The bundle includes a PS4 Pro controller with a unique The Last of Us 2 design, the game, a digital voucher for a dynamic theme, avatars, and other goodies. But like mainly, the console's PS4 Pro, it's only $400, so it's about the same price as a normal PS4 Pro. The console itself is sick. It's like engraved with like Ellie's tattoo.
Nice.
And it's like this matte gray. The only thing that I have negative to say about it is that it's like so close to the next cycle of consoles. Gen. It's like, unless you just plan on buying this and like just to play The Last of Us 2 and then never playing video games again, like, I just would wait, it's just
that's the same thing with the Cyberpunk, like 2077 Xbox or whatever.
It's like, it's cool as shit, but like,
people will buy it though.
People will buy it because it'd be a cool collector's item. Honestly, like that's all it is. At this point, it's a really expensive, dope collector's item because it'll be like
no one will care about.
You'll play it like one time and it'll be in mint condition. And you'll put it in your closet and forget about it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
And then 20 years from now, someone will pay you $1,000 for it or something.
Dude, yeah, it'll be worth a lot one day. Like especially the Ellie one because it's like the only PS4 that exists right now that's engraved. Like it's not just like painted different. It's like actually like etched into the PS4. It's fucking cool. Like,
oh yeah. So Eddie McCooch at GameSpot says the Xbox Game Pass subscription service is getting another high-profile game with Hello Games' space exploration title No Man's Sky. It's heading to the catalog in June. Launching on Xbox Game Pass opens up a huge audience for No Man's Sky, as the subscription service has 10 million subscribers and counting. An exact release date for No Man's Sky on Xbox Game Pass has not been announced yet, but before I get off of the Game Pass stuff, I just want to mention the games that are coming out in May for Game Pass, which is Red Dead Redemption 2. It's already out.
Hey-o.
Final Fantasy 9, which is amazing. Minecraft Dungeons, which I believe is already out.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it, too.
Yeah, it's like Diablo Minecraft. Alan Wake and Cities Skyline.
I just bought Alan Wake for $1.40 on Epic Game Store.
Well, you could have had it for free on Game Pass because it's also on PC. So if you had Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you could have just got it on there.
I do have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
No, you big dummy.
But one day it'll leave Xbox Game Pass, and I'll still have it in my Epic Game Store library or whatever.
It's true. You'll still have it, but will you still play it?
No, I might not even play it.
You just bought
at
it
all.
to buy
but
it.
It was $1. I was like, hell, I might as well.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole article, but EA Sports and the NFL are apparently going to extend their deal, which ended or is going to end at the end of the 2021 season. So they're already in talks. So I think we can expect to see Madden NFL games, through at least 2026. So
get in the game.
Get in the game. And I mean, they'd be stupid not to. I feel like, as much shit as the Madden games get, for putting out a new game every year that's like the same exact game, they're pretty high quality games. I mean, I feel like the NFL would be fools to just partner up with somebody different at this point with, like, the amount of money they're probably bringing in from those games. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, of course. Definitely. Yeah, like, I don't see why they would stop,
Yeah.
But, so, Jenny Wu at GameSpot says, Shirley Curry, also known to the internet as Skyrim Grandma, announced earlier this month that she would be cutting back on her famous streams of The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim because of comments that she's received on her videos. After gaining an enthusiastic following in the streaming community for her passion for the game and becoming a world record holder as the world's oldest professional streamer, she's now taking a break from the activity. Curry recently vlogged about receiving unwanted comments on videos of herself playing Elder Scrolls V this year. She mentions receiving comments that are negative and that they're affecting her enjoyment of the game and her play style. Curry likes to focus on the role-playing aspects of Skyrim, so she may not always be using the most optimal builds. The Skyrim grandma noted that she wasn't, quote, enjoying recording anymore, end quote, because she felt like she was under a microscope all the time. She's since made the decision from May 2nd to take a break from streaming, and when she resumes, to have a much reduced schedule compared to her daily uploads. So, of course, you got some dudes on there that are like, Look at her fucking build, dude. Like,
okay, two things about this. Fucking, first of all, I saw the video she posted, and it is heartbreaking. It fucking crushes my soul that people are out there fucking talking shit to this old grandma. Let her play fucking Skyrim in peace, you monsters. You know what I mean?
right?
But second of all, I saw another thing. And it was like a Twitter post from her criticizing the article that originally like put this out there. Apparently,
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, she was like saying like, okay, it's not quite as bad as you guys are making it out to be, and I'm gonna keep streaming and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So she's not like totally done or anything, but still, you know, all you people out there cyberbullying the fucking gaming grandma.
World record holder grandma.
World record holder grandma. Get off this bitch's dick. Let her live.
Yeah.
You know
and
what
if
I
you're
mean?
going to be on it, you might as well suck it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight up. Let her play Skyrim. Let her be an Argonian. You know what I mean?
Let her do her thing. She, you know, the fact that this old woman is, you know, taking pleasure in something that most people her age just look at as like, you know, this thing that, you know, only idiots, you know, will do or whatever. You know, like, you know how people in that generation look at video games as like a waste of time. She sees it as something that's enjoyable and it's cool. It's like this cross generation thing where like she's got an open mind. You know what I'm saying? So why go in and squash that? Why do you? I just don't understand.
Well, I think one of her biggest problems, like just from the video that I watched of her talking, it was like she was really pissed that people like acted like she didn't know the game. You know what I mean? Like when she was like intentionally like not wearing the best armor and stuff because she wanted her character to look cool. You know what I mean?
Oh, so they come in.
So they're like all sitting there talking about, oh, you need to wear this build.
They're like mansplaining.
Yeah, and she's like, look, I know how to use the fucking compass. I know how to play the game. You know what I mean? I'm just playing it the way I want to play it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
She's been streaming for years.
Yeah,
like
that's what she said. She's like, I've been playing Skyrim for like 7 years. Like, she's like, I know how to play Skyrim.
It's like this whole time she never figured it out. Like, what? Yeah, people are fucking dumb, dude.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, well, good for her. I mean, she's gonna do what she needs to.
Oh.
What you got?
Okay, I just hope it doesn't like discourage her. I hope she keeps on going.
She'll keep going.
So this is a short bit of news, but exciting nonetheless. If you're a PlayStation VR owner, the Iron Man VR demo is out now, and apparently it's really freaking sweet. I haven't tried it just yet, but I will at some point. Definitely got to check that out. It's getting rave reviews, so I'm excited about the real game.
Nice. Yeah, this is the one that got pushed back.
Yeah.
Pushed back. So Alessandro Barbosa at GameSpot says, as has become tradition with the annual Call of Duty series, this year's game has apparently leaked ahead of its official announcement. While Activision has already confirmed a new Call of Duty is coming this year, it hasn't shared any details whatsoever. However, according to a tweet that has since been corroborated by Eurogamer, this year's game will be called Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, signaling both a return to the popular subseries and a shift in naming convention for it. It will be the 5th main game in the Black Ops series, but will be the first to go back to significantly back in time since they don't proofread this stuff. In time since the original Black Ops, as the series has gotten progressively more futuristic over the years. The Black Ops Cold War name first appeared on Twitter by leaker Okami13, and Eurogamer has since reported it's heard the same news from its sources. This means that much like 2019's Call of Duty Modern Warfare, developer Treyarch is going back to where Call of Duty Black Ops started, a stark change from the future-based warfare the Black Ops series traded in with its 3rd and 4th installments. All I care about, the only thing that this means to me is that we're going to get some new Warzone maps and stuff, and I'm excited about that.
Some new Warzone maps? You're going to get a whole new Battle Royale, probably, if they put out
I think
another Call of Duty.
I think they're sticking with Warzone. I think, like, what they said is that Warzone's going to have a very whatchamacallit, Fortnite type thing going with it.
So do you think they're just not gonna? You don't think Treyarch will be able to contain themselves? Like I don't know. I think
I don't think they're gonna make a new battle royale. I think they want to take what they have with Warzone, because I really think they just want to keep building on it. I think this is what they want to do is, and I think what they're gonna do is whenever Treyarch releases their game, they're gonna make Warzone just completely about whatever that game's about. Like they're gonna change up the map and everything. There's gonna be like a live event for it.
So you think Warzone will transfer to the new game as like an extension? See, I can't.
I just think it'll be a standalone.
I can't see that happening because the mechanics would be different. Like you'd be playing one part of Black Ops Cold War, and then all of a sudden you go over to Warzone and you're playing like a different game. You know what I mean? Like,
so you really think they're just gonna ditch Warzone? You're crazy.
No, I don't think they're going to ditch Warzone. I think that people will still play Warzone. I think that they'll put out another one, though. Like just like you could go play Black Ops 4 Battle Royale right now if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean Black Ops 4 Battle Royale?
I mean Black Ops 4 Battle Royale.
That's a real thing?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, they had a Battle Royale on Black Ops?
And it was pretty good. It wasn't as good as Warzone.
Or are you talking about Blackout?
Blackout, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but that was like a whole different thing, because Blackout, you had to buy it with the game.
It was part of the game. Yeah.
Warzone, it's its own standalone thing. You don't have to have Modern Warfare. That's why I think it's different. I think Blackout was like their test.
I'm just saying, like, if they build Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, not Black Ops 4, Black Ops Cold War or whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was like its own little Battle Royale mode. But then again, I also would be surprised because I feel like the last Black Ops that came out, they cut the campaign because they wanted to do
a Battle Royale.
And I feel like it didn't really work out for them. I feel like the campaign is such an integral part of Black Ops as a whole. I think that's why Black Ops 4 didn't do as good. You know what I mean? Like, I really think that. And I think that's why Modern Warfare did better, because it's more of a traditional Call of Duty.
And
you know what I mean?
That's what I really think Warzone is going to be their only Battle Royale from this point forward. The only one that they support. I really think so. I think what they're going to do is, like I said, whenever the Black Ops drops, they're just going to make like a Cold War level. You know what I'm saying? Or they're going to change the whole map. They're going to drop a nuke or something, and it's going to be Black Ops themed from that point forward, and maybe have Black Ops weapons and stuff like that. But I just really see that being the case.
Yeah, it would be interesting for sure. I'm just like, it's just strange because like Warzone is like a different studio. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It would just be hard to like even put them in the same like while they're very similar, it would just feel like a jarring almost. I feel like to play the campaign made by Treyarch and then go straight to Infinity Ward's Warzone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, I'm not saying they won't have Black Ops multiplayer. They just won't have a Battle Royale.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
For sure.
They just won't have a Battle Royale. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Warzone is the Call of Duty Battle Royale. That's the whole point of it, is like, this is our Battle Royale, and then we have our mobile one. And then you'll just like go between those. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I just hope they don't ditch the zombies. You know what I mean? I know the zombies thing is kind of petering out. You know what I mean?
I bet they bring it back with this one. I hope so. That's the focus of this one, since they won't do a Battle Royale.
I hope they double down on it. Yeah, for sure. And although the main guy who was like leading the zombies team, he left. Yeah. So it might not be the same if they do. Who knows? Surely some of the team is the same, yeah.
I doubt that one guy was the one who did all of it. He was like the idea guy, but at the same time, like I really see Black Ops doing just like the normal thing, and then there being crossover between the games, because I think we even talked about it. We even had an article where the creative director on Call of Duty was saying that Warzone was going to be like Fortnite, like it was going to keep continually getting new stuff, and like it would have crossover and stuff with like the new games. So like I don't see them just ditching it after mentioning something like that.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to ditch it, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that this is going to be meant to be more of a spin-off game, kind of like World War II, you know what I mean? Like, I think this is going to play like that, you know, like a real Call of Duty game, but like, you know, not a real Call of Duty game.
Are you talking about Black Ops?
Black Ops Cold War.
Oh, I don't think so. I think they're rebooting it. I think,
you think?
Yeah, I think it's a reboot. Like, and not like a reboot in the way of like, oh, it's completely different, but a reboot. And I think that they're going back to the basics. Like, they're like, okay, let's get away from the future. Let's go back to the Cold War. And then there's like this whole thing in Warzone. There's like this whole like idea people have been saying from the get-go, like there's going to be a map that gets nuked and all this stuff like in Warzone. I really think it has something to do with that. Like there's just this correlation between the fact it's the Cold War and nukes, you know, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of things to think about there because if you did theme it like Cold War, you'd have to like change up the weapons and stuff and make it all less modern, you know.
That's what I'm saying. I think it would be dope. You know, like I mean, but they do that in Fortnite all the time where they just like randomly take away weapons, put in new weapons, do whatever.
Sure. You could do like a mass, you know, thing.
Overhaul. Like season 4 there's going to be a new map for season 4, which happens in like a couple weeks or something.
I think it'd be cool if like you could pick your time period and it was like the same map, but
yeah,
with just from
tight.
Different eras. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and then they could decide like you know which one is more popular and just like if they needed to just narrow it down to one, you know. But anyways.
Okay, let's see. Little Big Planet developers Media Molecule released their latest game Dreams for the PS4 in February, and now they're looking for help to refine the game's VR features.
Nice.
Video Game Chronicle reported. The testing positions are open to European players, so unfortunately I can't do it, but otherwise I'd be all over this. And while the company hasn't specified what it's looking for in a tester, the application form asks about location, availability, previous testing experiences, and which devices you have available. Testers have to sign an NDA if accepted for the 2-week process, which involved a preliminary briefing, 2 weeks of reporting based on short periods of gameplay, and a debrief session. Participants will be paid €200, so like 250 American dollars, at the end of the testing period.
That would not be fun, I guarantee you. It sounds fun. But the fact that they're going to have you reporting and stuff, that means that you're going to be sitting there. They're going to be like, we want you to go into this one spot, and we want you to do everything fucking possible in this one spot over and over again for hours on end. And then
I don't think so. I think they have people like specifically paid to like debug test. You know what I mean? Like that's like a different thing altogether. Like
I think that's what they're wanting from this.
I don't know, man.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I don't think so. I really think it's probably just they're gonna just like, you know, check in with you every now and then and like, how's your experience going? I don't know.
The fact they're doing like a debriefing, signing NDAs and all that stuff, like it just sounds too complicated. It doesn't sound like, oh, we're just gonna
NDA. I think the NDA is probably because they're gonna make you play some kind of campaign or something that they haven't released. Like I bet they have like a VR special, you know how they have what's his name's dream or whatever, art stream or whatever. I'm sure they're gonna do like a VR art stream or some kind of like special.
Yeah, of course. But that's what I'm saying is like because it's like a game like that, I imagine that they're gonna be wanting so much information out of you. You know.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're not just gonna give you some money for
$250. Yeah, but $250 for 2 weeks.
I doubt you're going to be spending that much time playing it. Like, they're not going to be like, you are required to play Dreams 8 hours a day. You know what I mean?
If we should do an interview, it should be with someone who got to be a part of this program. And ask that. Well, obviously they'll sign an NDA, so they might not be able to talk about it. But
I'm sure after all the hype has died
down.
It
can be like, what was it like? They're like, it was the worst thing. It's like, I watched my children bleed.
They locked me in a cellar. They made me come down.
They showed me my worst nightmares in a virtual reality. I was covered in spiders.
As soon as I signed the NDA, my headset fused itself to my face.
Straight to my cock. No, but Jenny Wu at GameSpot says, if you consider yourself an old Xbox head, then you're probably going to be pleased at the fact that a fan project is aiming to resurrect the original Xbox Live experience.
What's the original Xbox Live experience? Getting
really
cussed the
bad.
fuck out? Like,
Yeah. We're talking circa the good old pre-2010 days when we were all trying to link up on Halo 2. This original Xbox Live fan project is called Insignia, and it's being developed by Luke Usher, who has been providing updates for it on his personal Patreon. Usher is based out of the United Kingdom and is also currently working on an Xbox and Sega Chihiro emulator for Windows. According to Usher, yes, Usher. No, I'm just kidding. Insignia is going to be free, and it will not require any modifications or patches to software for owners of Xbox consoles. The goal of this original Xbox Live project is to have it up and running in autumn 2020, which would be quite the get if you're nostalgic for the old days of Microsoft's multiplayer service. Insignia aims to bring back to old Xbox Live services. In practice, this will involve users creating accounts on Insignia's servers, which ape connectivity to an ecosystem, much like the original Xbox Live, which I saw a video of it. It looks exactly like the Xbox, like the OG Xbox screen. You know how like it like pops up and it asks for you to make like a username and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like that classic like gooey green looking shit.
All you need is one of those like shitty earpieces with the.
Oh yeah, the one little like it's like in the video from the YouTube channel for the fan project, you'll go through the process of creating an Xbox Live ID, activating an Xbox Live subscription, and enabling connectivity to other users also using Insignia. Theoretically, if you and some friends are using Insignia, then you should be able to mimic the original Xbox Live's functionality and enjoy multiplayer shenanigans and legacy games like Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. A private beta has been planned for the future, and many of Usher's Patreon supporters have expressed excitement for it in the comments. The full technical specs or requirements necessary to run Insignia have not been confirmed yet, but if you're absolutely keen on running Halo 2 with some friends, then the Master Chief Collection for PC currently gives you the option.
Neat. That's pretty cool.
Ew.
Probably won't ever use it, but that's pretty cool.
No. What do you got?
2K Games has confirmed Mafia Definitive Edition, a full remake of the 2002 action-adventure for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, will release August 28th. It'll come packaged with the Mafia trilogy, and as a standalone title that's available to pre-order now. Fans of the Mafia series are also getting some free content in the form of the Definitive Edition upgrades for Mafia 2 and Mafia 3. If you own Mafia 2 on Steam, you can update the 10-year-old title to experience the adventure in high definition for free. Same with Mafia 3, except Mafia 3's upgrade just gives you all the DLC and stuff. So basically, the moral of the story here is if you already own Mafia 2 or 3, you're getting free upgrades, and it's going to be either more high definition or you'll have more content. So,
nice,
cool stuff.
Hey, Dark Sage 9117. I see your message. I'm gonna read it whenever we get to the topic because it's about the topic. So we'll talk about it there in depth. I'll read it off on here just so you know.
Okay.
Anyway, so Alessandro Barbosa at GameSpot says The Last of Us Part 2 will be the focus of Sony's next State of Play stream, scheduled to take place this Wednesday, May 27th at 1 p.m. PT, which by the time this goes up, it'll be, the day of the State of Play. So we won't have the news on that till next week. But the stream will feature a deep dive on gameplay mechanics seen in previous showings of the sequel, with Naughty Dog Vice President and The Last of Us Part 2 co-director Neil Druckmann narrating the footage. Although a lot of the stream will give context to gameplay that's already been shown, there will be around 8 minutes of gameplay for a brand new area of the game too.
Ooh.
The State of Play stream is expected to be around 20 minutes long in total, similar to the most recent stream for Sony's other upcoming PS4 exclusive Ghost of Tsushima. And in case you were wondering, Sony makes it very clear in the announcement that there will not be any PS5 news. Yeah, so for those of you who are excited about Last of Us 2, you're about to get a lot more.
That's exciting. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, so last week we talked about Rainbow Six Siege developer Ubisoft filing a lawsuit against Google and Apple because of Area F2, a mobile free-to-play shooter. Well, apparently, hang on, let's see. Okay, Area F2 has been taken down permanently, with refunds being issued to players who purchased items via microtransactions. It took only a few days after the lawsuit was filed for the game to be taken completely offline. The notice of termination, shared by industry analyst Daniel Ahmed, stated that Area F2 would be taken offline May 20th. So that's already happened. Although the notice makes no mention of Ubisoft in their lawsuit, the timing suggests Alibaba and Alibaba and eJoy decided against trying to defend their product in court. Players who made purchases during the game's beta period can apply for refunds either through the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, or third-party retailer. So they just said they weren't even going to try. They were just like, yeah, never mind. You got us.
Yeah, because they know what they did. You know, they probably made a shit ton of money off of that, though.
Yeah, and they probably would have lost a shit ton of money if they went to court.
For sure. They probably got what they wanted.
Yeah.
They're like, they probably went in knowing this was going to happen. They were like, we can just get as much as we can. And then we'll, as soon as they, send like a cease and desist thing, we'll drop it. You know, like, fuck this. Anyways, Alessandro Barbosa at GameSpot says, following a job listing suggesting that Sony will launch the PS5 this October, the company has stated that the month was included in error. The PS5 is not confirmed for a launch in October, and the final release date or even release window is still unknown at this point. We'll have to wait for official word from Sony to learn when the console will launch, and with Sony saying that it plans to share details on PS5 launch games, that could come relatively soon. The job listing was created for a position at Sony Interactive Entertainment and hosted on a Japanese recruitment website. The line in question mentioned that the PS5 would launch in October, which was the first mention of an exact release month for Sony's next-generation console. Japanese publication Famitsu contacted Sony for comment, who stated that the information was erroneously included by the recruitment company in question. That just makes me think that it is coming out in October,
yeah.
I think it was an accident, but it is probably coming in October. I mean, that's not that crazy of a thing to believe that it would be coming in October. That's typically when new consoles come out, anyways.
No. And if it's not October, it's gonna be really close to October.
It'll be like right there, November.
So.
Right in time for the holidays.
I was about to say, right in time for Black Friday. That's the most important thing, is that people can go out and snatch one up fucking when they're doing their, manic holiday shopping. Okay, I got a really cool one here, especially for, the future of technology and stuff. Today, one of gaming's most recognizable icons turns 40. And to celebrate, NVIDIA and Bandai Namco have partnered up to recreate Pac-Man, only this time without any actual human input. Using NVIDIA's GameGAN, the company has successfully trained an AI model to recreate and play Pac-Man without the use of a game engine. Instead, the model recreates each frame of the game manually on screen, tracking not only the movement of the pie chart protagonist, but the pellets it eats, and the ghosts it gobbles, and the score it racks up. The AI was trained using millions of frames from the original Pac-Man supplied by Bandai Namco, along with recorded player inputs. After chewing through 50,000 games, the model was able to replicate static elements of a simple Pac-Man game while also understanding how to operate its rule set without a single line of game code supplied by the developers. This is a neat homage to one of the foundations of gaming as we know it, but it's also a glimpse into the future of AI and its role in gaming. NVIDIA and its researchers in this field believe that it could eventually be used to help developers iterate on level designs by feeding an AI model existing level layouts and letting it generate additional content that fits with what already exists. It could also be used in both virtual and real-world applications of teaching AI the simplicities of human behavior to better recreate them either in a game or outside, like self-driving cars, for example.
Interesting.
Really cool. I mean, The fact that all it did was literally just watch a shitload of different fucking Pac-Man games, and then it made Pac-Man. Like, it built the game from the ground up without any kind of external coding or anything. Like,
this is dangerous. This is dangerous for the jobs of video game coders and designers.
For sure.
Because in the future, this will only get more and more efficient and accurate to the point to where we're like, oh, we want a new game. And then you just like press a button and it watches like GTA, like all the GTA games. And it's like, here's all, like just automatically it's like, this is the good shit that people like in this game. And it like fucking takes it and makes like the best GTA ever made.
Dude, I mean, think about this though also. Like, there's going to be like, okay, it talks about like learning the level design by like seeing level parts that are already made and then making parts of the level that fit with that level. It's like thinking about it. It's like, you know, you as a developer could find parts of your game that you didn't even know were there because like an AI just built it to fit with like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Pretty crazy stuff.
They took our jobs. That's all I can see.
The AIs are going to just be making hot coffee mods and shit.
Dude,
like,
that universal basic income is starting to look more and more realistic,
right?
Dude. It's coming because we won't be able to work. Anyways, what do you got?
Oh, are you out over there?
I'm out of news. You finish it up. And
okay. All right. Let me lay it on you thick real quick. Okay. The latest trailer for the Dark Knight director Christopher Nolan's mysterious new movie Tenet premiered in Fortnite.
Wow.
But that's not the extent of the director's partnership with the Battle Royale game. During the in-game event, game media host Jeff Kiley revealed that Fortnite will host one of Nolan's iconic movies in the game. We will be screening an iconic Christopher Nolan full-length feature film right here on the big screen. Stay tuned for more details.
I guarantee you it's Interstellar.
I hope it's Interstellar because that's the best Christopher Nolan movie.
But what's the point of watching it in Fortnite?
I don't know.
Like, why don't you just
put
like
it
on
TV?
Hub,
you know?
Is it like, can you chat while you're watching it?
Yeah. It's they screen it in what's called like Party Royale, so there's no guns and you can't like kill each other and stuff.
Oh, so it's just like a big floating screen or something, and everybody just runs around.
Mm-hmm. So you can like basically just talk to everybody and hang out while you're watching the movie, I guess. You know.
Cool.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess that sounds fun.
I think they're kind of trying really hard to keep people interested in Fortnite, and like it's starting to lose its traction.
Yeah. So now it's becoming a movie hub.
Yeah.
Yeah, very weird.
Oh well, that's okay.
What else you got?
Let's see. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has a new online tournament kicking off on May 30th, and players will be competing to win free games and DLC.
Nice.
The North American tournament, which is now open for registration, will run each weekend until June 21st. Competition will play out across 8 regions, and each week one winner from between 2 regions will be crowned and given a prize. The top 4 players across the tournament will win download codes for Splatoon 2, ARMS, and the final Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighter Pass. With one winner being picked each weekend, it's not quite as grand of a it's not quite as grand as a traditional esports tournament prize, but it's better than nothing. The tournament will feature best of 3 sets matches with items turned off. You can register now, but you must be a citizen of North America, Canada, or Mexico to enter. Registration will close on May 30th at 8 a.m. So,
I don't know if our boy Breezy listens to the podcast, but he would probably be interested in that. He's been playing some online tournaments for Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Has he been doing good?
He said he won one the other day.
Really?
Online, yeah.
That's cool.
But it wasn't for like prizes or anything. But then he also played against like a pro and got his ass beat.
Really?
And like on stream, like somebody like the pro was streaming the tournament and like he got his ass beat on there. And I was like, dude, we got to find that clip of you just getting your ass beat by a pro on Smash Bros.
That guy must be really good.
Oh yeah, dude. He's a pro. Like he's a fucking pro.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, so like Aaron's really good though.
Yeah, I was gonna say Aaron's good.
Aaron and Jay are probably the best like Smash Bros. Players I've ever seen in my life.
See, I haven't played as much. Like I feel like I haven't dedicated myself to training like I used to. You know, I used to be good.
I'd wake up, swallow eggs whole, and then fucking just go ultimate, dude.
That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, I don't think my mind to finger connection is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. I also haven't put like 12 hours a day into it.
Yeah.
I feel like if you did, you could become the best. That's all it takes.
The very best.
You just have to sit there. You just have to fucking sit there and just do it over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think that's kind of anything, though. Like, if you play any game long enough, you'll get, like, at least kind of good at it. You know what I mean?
Except for Warzone. No, I'm just
Right. I don't know, man. If I played Warzone as much as I played the UFC game, like, I guarantee you I would be really good at it.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
We'll put that to the test. Anyways.
Okay, last one. I'm not going to read this whole article because it's super long.
Yeah, just give us the gist.
But basically, Doom Eternal on PC was getting a lot of flack because they implemented de novo anti-cheat, which is basically like an anti-cheating program that's almost malware because it like has to get down to like the fucking like very guts of your computer to like do what it does. You know what I mean? So like they installed this like thing on everybody's computer. And, like, everybody was really pissed because it was, like, invading their computer. And so they have decided that they are going to take it out of the game despite the fact that there might be cheaters in the game now.
Like in the online modes or what?
In the online modes. But personally, I don't really give a shit about Doom Online.
Who the fuck ever did, though?
That's what I'm saying. And that's kind of what the guy was saying. He's like, look, if more people start caring about the online mode, then we'll, implement the cheat thing or find a way that they can implement it and people who want to play single player don't have to. But until then, you know what I mean? They're just taking it off altogether. So.
Yeah, there was like a lot of talk about the multiplayer.
It was a big deal, yeah.
And then it came out, and like it was just like I never even played it.
I tried a little bit. It was kind of boring. It wasn't my favorite, yeah.
I figured. All right, so that's it for this week's gaming news. We're going to jump into this week's releases where I'm going to let you know what brand new games are coming out in the next 7 days, starting with Ninjala, which is coming to Switch on May 27th. It's free to play. Yeah, I already have this downloaded. I want to try it out. Battle with Bats and Bubblegum in the crazy 8-player action game Ninjala. Ninjala is a morphing ninja gum action game that allows players to blow bubblegum to craft weapons and use the unconventional fighting method ninjutsu. Adapting to different landscapes, players must use lightning-fast reflexes and super parkour mechanics to combat and counter their opponents. The game brings a new era to the world of ninjas through online battles against other players. It sounds very Nintendo. Sounds very exciting.
Yeah.
And then we have Shantae and the 7 Sirens coming to Switch, Xbox One, PS4, PC, May 28th for $29.99. Shantae and the 7 Sirens sends the belly-dancing, hair-whipping half-genie hero to a tropical island where Shantae and her friends encounter other half-genie allies. But soon, they learn there's trouble in paradise.
The Shantae games have a pretty big following. I think there'll be some people that are really excited about this, actually.
There's a Shantae game on the Game Boy Color that's worth like $200
really?
If you have it. Yeah. Like, it's very rare. It's very rare. It's one of the most expensive like Game Boy games of all time. Yeah. Minecraft Dungeons is coming to Switch, Xbox One, and PC and PS4 on May 28th for $19.99, or you can play for free on Game Pass. Minecraft Dungeons is an all-new action-adventure game inspired by classic dungeon crawlers and set in the Minecraft universe. It's really all you need to know. Yeah. And then we have Dungeon Defenders Awakened coming to PC on May 28th for $39.99. Dungeon Defenders Awakened brings back the hit cooperative action RPG strategy tower defense game series, recapturing the soul of the original Dungeon Defenders. Travel back in time to when and where it all began, with the 4 young heroes banding together in their parents' castle. Only this time, they face a time-altering menace who could reshape the past, present, and future of Dungeon Defenders. And then we have Those Who Remain coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC on May 28th for $19.99. Edward Turner is just an ordinary man with a troubled past who arrives in the wrong place at the wrong time. But he soon finds out that something is very wrong in Dormont. There are strange creatures roaming in the dark, killing everyone that gets close. The only way to survive is by staying in the light. Those Who Remain is a psychological thriller that takes place in Dormont, a small town in the U.S. Dormont appears to be a regular and typical American town at first glance, but it is, however, cursed by a demon who shrouded everything in darkness. Okay. Then we have Synaptic Drive, coming to Switch on May 28th for $29.99. Synaptic Drive is a game with heated high-speed battles in which you must use your brain to stay a few steps ahead, reversing an opponent's play style and picking the required bodies, guns, wires, and trackers will lead you straight on a path to victory. What the fuck is this game? Fight again and again while discovering the parts best suited for you. There are also all kinds of battle arenas. Finding the right parts and strategies that work best for the arenas is one of the highlights of this game. Okay. I don't even get, what is it? What is Synaptic Drive? Synaptic Drive is a game that high-speed battles. But, what are you battling with? I don't get it. Okay, and then we have Sky Hill, Black Mist, coming to PC on May 28th. Couldn't find a price for this game. In Sky Hill Black Mist, you awake inside a huge interconnected building conglomerate, a huge condominium built by Sky Hill Inc., the suspicious biotech corporation that literally controls the entire city. You, being one of its employees, were granted an apartment and just moved in. Unexpectedly, things have gone terribly wrong. Your daughter was kidnapped, and the whole building is suddenly overrun by dark monsters and crazy cultists that want to hunt you down.
Oh, no.
You have to save your family and survive at all costs in the face of danger, chased by a mysterious black mist that changes humans into vile creatures. In this spin-off of Madragora Games' creepy Sky Hill franchise, carve your own way in a semi-open world of Sky Hill condominium, but also within infrastructure buildings such as school, shopping center, business lounge, cinema, underground parking space, and a variety of technical locations. Okay.
Great.
And then we have Umihara Kawase Bazooka, coming to PC on May 28th for $27.99. I feel like we need anime theme song playing for this. Umihara Kawase Bazooka. It's a fast-paced action game where the player's goal is to clear the screen of enemies by performing skillful combos with their bazooka and an extraordinary fishing rod. Part of the iconic series about a young sushi chef who lives in a world of strange and mysterious seawater creatures, Umihara Kawase Bazooka presents challenging platforming cavorting where the players can use the environment to their advantage. Using a fishing line to hook an enemy or another player and banish it is one of the most important techniques to be mastered.
What the fuck?
I have no idea. Anime. And then we have Hotel R&R coming to PS4 on May 28th for $19.99. Be a rock star, smashing up hotels after making up a deal with the devil to become infamous. No easy feat. Pressure from the hotel staff and your own weak wrists are against you. But with over 34 weapons and upgrades available, time to get creative with your destruction. Each hotel is a unique playground of things to explore, interact with, and ultimately destroy.
The whole point of the game is you're a rock star just fucking up hotels?
I guess, yeah.
That sounds awesome.
You have time to plan your attack before raising too much suspicion. But once the fireworks start, be careful that the maid or hotel manager don't get into the room. As you build up infamy and cash, you can unlock a whole pawn shop of oddball weapons, modifiers, and performance enhancers that are designed to give you many more creative ways to cause mayhem. That sounds like it would be a game on like a flash game on fucking Newgrounds or something. And then we have Poly Bridge 2 coming to PC on May 28th. It's 99 cents. The acclaimed bridge building simulator is back and better than ever. Poly Bridge 2 features new levels, new mechanics, and a custom deterministic physics engine. Yeah, it sounds dumb as hell. And then we have Borderlands Legendary Collection coming to Switch on May 29th for $49.99. Get 3 times the mayhem, 3 times the loot, and 3 times the action with the Borderlands Legendary Collection. So with this one, you get Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, along with piles of bonus add-on content for each game, adding 100-plus hours of gameplay at an incredible value.
I don't want any kind of fucking Borderlands collection until they make one that has all of the 3 baseline Borderlands games. Like, I want Borderlands 3 in that collection. Like, is that so much to ask? Is that so wrong?
I mean,
me?
for the
make it a full price game. You know, sell it for like $60 and
but Borderlands 3 is still $59.99, so you couldn't throw these other 3 games in with it. It'd be like $100-something.
Man, all I'm saying is fuck that collection. unless it's got Borderlands 3.
But it's coming to Switch, so
Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
cool.
it's a Switch collection.
That's-
You're
that
not
is-
getting
that is
Borderlands
cool.
3 on Switch.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I don't know. Maybe one of them.
10 years from now.
I feel like if they can put Outer Worlds on Switch, they can definitely put
Borderlands? I think it's the multiplayer aspect of it that makes it difficult.
Yeah, probably.
And then we have Rising Lords coming to PC on May 29th. Couldn't find a price, but Rising Lords is a medieval turn-based strategy game with card and board game elements. Send your serfs to fight and die in your name, or let them prosper and use them to your advantage. Collect taxes and resources, dictate nations and field work, forge weapons, reshape the battlefield, raise armies, and build mighty fortified cities. And then we have Xcom 2 Collection coming to Switch on May 29th for $49.99. The sequel to the award-winning strategy title XCOM Enemy Unknown, XCOM 2 transports players 20 years into the future, where humanity lost the war against the alien threat that has established a new world order. The secret paramilitary organization known as XCOM is largely forgotten and must strike back to reclaim control of Earth and free mankind from the aliens' rule. The XCOM 2 collection includes the award-winning strategy game XCOM 2, 4 DLC packs, and the War of the Chosen expansion for a bundled discount. Yeah. And then we have Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition coming to Switch on May 29th for $59.99. So this game was originally on Wii U, and then Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out on Switch. So if you never had a Wii U, you never got to play the first game. So now it's coming to Switch.
I think it got pretty good reviews, too. It's pretty well received, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. And then we have Adam's Venture Origins coming to Switch on May 29th for $39.99. Adam's Venture Origins retells the story of the first 3 episodes of Adam's Venture, now streamlined and replotted to forge an engaging narrative that plays out across a single game experience. And then we have BioShock, the collection, coming to Switch on May 29th for $49.99.
Man.
As we all know, that's BioShock, BioShock 2, and BioShock Infinite, all with the DLC and everything coming to Switch.
Is this going to be on, like, game cards, or is this going to be, like
physical, you mean?
Yeah, is there going to be...
There will be physical editions as
Cool.
well as digital.
Yeah, that's the thing I think I'm the most excited about with all these new Switch games coming out, or not new Switch games, but old games coming to Switch. You know, what I mean?
Just getting a physical little cartridge.
I just think Borderlands would be a good Switch game.
Indeed.
I feel like the original one, especially. You know what I mean? Something about taking that on the go with you just is really appealing to me.
I agree. And then we have Concept Destruction coming to Switch, Xbox One, PS4, and PC on May 30th for $4.99. Concept Destruction is a game where you drive miniature cars made of cardboard, crashing into other cars to destroy them and earn points along the way. And then we have Star Wars Episode 1 Racer coming to Switch on May 30th for $14.99. This is like the third time this game is supposed to come out, but now this is pod racing. You get it. You know what it is. It's the pod racing game. And then we have the Coma 2 Vicious Sisters coming to Switch and PS4 on May 30th for $14.99. Minna Park, a student of Suwa High, awakens at night in her school. It isn't long before she realizes that something is amiss. The once familiar school.
She woke up at night at her school. What the fuck? There's obviously something wrong.
The once familiar school where she spends her evenings studying looks twisted by something dark and sinister.
Oh, maybe it's like a boarding school if she spends her evenings studying there.
She does. This is very Japanese.
Sorry. I was just imagining like an American school.
No, imagine like anime.
Okay. I'm thinking Harry Potter right now, actually. I'm thinking she woke up in the Gryffindor common room.
More. Imagine more like she wakes up. She's like, and she's like,
she makes that noise.
She's instantly making the little like the piece like she's like, and she's like, oh my god, where am I? Like it's a very anime. Mm-hmm. She finds herself pursued by someone or something that looks eerily like her teacher. To survive, Mina must venture beyond the boundaries of her school and into the surrounding district. There she will encounter strange creatures, mysterious strangers, and uneasy allies. The Coma 2 Vicious Sisters is an atmospheric, story-driven game by Korean game studios Divespresso Games. Immerse yourself in the warped Suwa district as you encounter an engaging cast of characters, solve puzzles, discover revealing clues, and fight for survival against a relentless psycho. And then we have Shmoop Collection coming to Switch on May 31st for $34.99. Shmoop Collection is the ultimate shoot them up collection from the vaults of Astroport Studio. Blast your way through ARMS 7DX, Cetasius Next, and Wolflame.
Shmup? How does that stand for shoot 'em up? That doesn't make any sense.
It's a shoot 'em up.
Shouldn't it be like STU, like stew?
No, because it's not it's not an abbreviation.
Oh, okay.
It's like shoot 'em up. It's like you take shoot 'em up, and then you're just like shmup.
I just like stew better. I think that should have been the abbreviation.
A stew game.
Yeah, a stew game. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then we have Phantasy Star Online 2 coming to PC on May 31st for free to play, I believe. I think. I don't know. It could be wrong. Sega's genre-defining MMO franchise returns with this full-fledged sequel to Phantasy Star Online. You will join the ARC's task force of Oracle, an interplanetary fleet composed of 4 different races, and head out on an adventure to explore unknown worlds. With procedurally generated environments, unexpected events, and raid quests that a maximum of 12 players can take on at once, Phantasy Star Online 2 aims to provide a never-ending adventure that is always filled with fresh surprises. And then we have Diabolical coming to PC on June 1st for free to play. Diabolical is a colorful, fast-paced first-person shooter featuring egg-shaped robots who battle each other in the arenas that they have created with a variety of weapons for different situations. And then we have Judonia coming to PC on June 1st. Couldn't find a price, but Judonia is an open-world role-playing game inspired by old-school classics. Become a simple traveler and adventure seeker. Explore huge worlds, the huge world of Judonia. Progress your character any way you want. Discover hidden treasures and mysteries, and fight vast array of enemies. And then we have Rock of Ages 3 Make and Break coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, Stadia, PC June 2nd for $29.99. Oh, man, I'm running out of steam reading all these. Okay. Make your own levels. Break everyone else's. Rock of Ages 3.
Smash the hotels. Don't let the hotel manager catch you.
I feel like every game is the same. It's all the same.
In this top-down isometric hotel smash 'em up.
Procedurally generated. Yeah. Rock of Ages 3 Make and Break is competitive tower defense and arcade action rolled up with Ace Team's quirky humor into one giant creative game for the ages. Okay, and then we have Little Town Hero coming to PS4 on June 2nd for $24.99. This was a game that was like a Switch exclusive for a while. Yeah, in an isolated village on the... this is made by the people who made the Pokemon games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is Game Freak's game.
Oh,
remember?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's all you need to know about it. And then we have Valorant coming to PC on June 2nd. It's free to play. Valorant is a tactical first-person shooter game in the works at Riot Games, the creative studio behind League of Legends. This is a precise, competitive first-person shooter set on a beautiful near-future Earth in which unique character abilities of a lethal cast of characters create opportunities for your gunplay to shine. And that's it. Thank God. I can breathe again. But yeah, so that's it for this week's releases. We're going to jump on over to currently playing. You guys can let us know what you've been currently playing in the stream chat or in the YouTube comments or in the Facebook group at facebook.com/group/GameSpeakPodcast. Brent, what have you been currently playing?
Oh man, I've been playing a lot of like just little things, just testing games to make sure they work. But the main thing I've been playing this week has been Assassin's Creed Origins. Actually,
whack. No, I'm just kidding. Tell me about it.
It's actually really good. Like,
why'd you choose that over Odyssey?
Well, I've played Odyssey a little bit, and I couldn't really get that into it. You know what I mean? And, like, I was hesitant about Origins because I was like, okay, Odyssey was okay, but it lost me after a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Origins was only, like, $15 in the Epic sale, and, like, with the $10 coupon that Epic gives you, it was only, like, $5.
Damn.
So I was like, fuck it, I might as well. It's a pretty new game. For $5, I feel like that's a good deal, you know? So I took the dive, and it's really good. I don't know, man. It feels like it's got more, like, soul to it than, like, Odyssey does, you know? Like, to me, and this is just me, because I know a lot of people say they like Odyssey more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Odyssey felt too spread out, you know? Odyssey felt like they were trying to make the map feel bigger by, like, spreading everything out and making you walk, like, 100 miles to get everywhere, you know what I mean? This has, like, a more compact, dense map, but the map still feels like it's got, like, it's really big, you know? Like, but it's also, like, got a lot of life to it, and, like, everywhere you go feels like a real place, and the sand looks beautiful, and, like, the way the light reflects off of everything is beautiful, and, like, the combat is good, and the story is interesting enough, like, for an Assassin's Creed game, you know? Like, that's my biggest problem with Assassin's Creed games generally, is, like, I can't get into, like, the character, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they always have, like, weak protagonists, you know what I mean? But I really like Bayek, the main character in Origins. Like, his little story is interesting. You feel for him. It's kind of got like a John Wick style story where he's like on like a mission of vengeance and like he's just out to like kill everybody, you know what I mean? So it's like you feel like you've got a strong purpose, but you also don't feel like the story is like pressing you for time or anything, so you can explore. Like, I get into these games and like if the story is like, this is happening right now, you have to go do it right now, like in my head I'm like, if I'm going to do side quests and stuff, it like I feel like I'm pressured to do the main thing, you know what I mean? But it's like this game doesn't make you feel pressured. It's really chill, and like I don't know, I just love like almost everything about it. Like I really do. It's so good. Like it's weird. But yeah, I highly recommend it. Like if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, definitely, but if you're not an Assassin's Creed fan, it's just like a dope Egypt simulator. And it's like, I guess, I don't really know my history that well, but at some point Egypt and Rome must have like collided, because in Assassin's Creed world, in Origins, like there's like Romans walking around Egypt and stuff, so like there's this like cultural clash. I don't know. It's really interesting. Highly, highly recommend it. I'll probably be playing that for a while because like I'm so into it, and like, you know, I don't think I'm not even like a little bit into the game. You know what I mean? I'm like level 15 out of like, you know, what I can tell is going to be a long game, you know? But I'm having a lot of fun with that. I'm still playing Animal Crossing also. That's just kind of like a perpetual thing going on in the background now. You know what I mean? Right now I'm trying to build more bridges, and I want to build like slopes to get to the sloped part of my island. You know what I mean? Like
get up to the top.
Yeah, get up to the top. Because right now I'm just jumping the rivers with, you know, pogo sticks.
The pole vault.
And I have one bridge built already, but like I talked to Tom Nook recently, and he was like, "Oh, we can build more bridges and slopes." And I'm like, "Okay." So I think that's what's gonna happen next. I got my house relatively big now. I'm like the next size up, you know what I mean? I got this cool wallpaper that's like TV monitors, so my house looks like that scene in The Matrix where there's like a shitload of TVs everywhere, you know what I mean?
He's watching all the different timelines.
I'm watching all the other animals on my island fuck around. I'm watching Red's shady ass go around trying to fucking like sell paintings and stuff, you know what I mean?
From your TVs? Mm-hmm. That's kind of creepy.
That's what I'm doing. Mm-hmm.
Like a weird, like...
I'm like a weird... Have you ever seen that movie 13 Cameras?
No, I haven't.
Well, it's like that, except way more than 13 cameras in my house.
Do all the other animals know you're like a voyeurist? Like, do they know that like you're secretly watching them?
I don't think any of them have ever come into my house, even though I like constantly just barge into everybody's house without asking.
Yeah,
and
they're
they
just kind
always
of
give
used
me
to
some
you.
shit. Yeah, they're always like, "Oh, I'm making some shit, but here, I'll show you how to make it too."
Nice.
Yeah, it's going pretty good. Going pretty good at my island, you know. I think I'm also gonna start building a Serenity Lounge. I'm gonna build one of those little fountains, that's like a pond with water, and like build bamboo fence all around it. It's gonna be great.
Sounds serene.
Yeah. Anyways, what have you been playing?
Oh, that's all you've been playing?
Yeah, pretty much. I've also been playing a couple other things like Far Cry and Red Dead, but those are just been to like, you know, test my new monitor and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I've been playing more Warzone. Recently, there was a patch on the 18th, I believe, was whenever they updated it. So now the Gulag has basically no pistols and no shotguns. It's all SMGs and even the M4. So it gets pretty hectic in the fucking Gulag now.
I like that.
Yeah, they also added like a way to open the vault, which like right after they announced all this, I think it was on the 19th. So like me and Breezy were playing, And I believe Aaron Jones was with us in this game. But we were playing. Yeah, he was there. And we killed this team that had just came out of the vault, and like unwittingly, killed them after they came out of the vault, and they dropped their the little ID card to get into the vault. And we were like, oh,
nice.
shit. And we grabbed it. And so we ran down there, ran into the vault, got all the cool stuff out of there. We didn't get the blueprint, though, because you have to do this whole thing where there's like these codes, like Russian numbers are being spoken out of these different phones all across the map, and you have to like go to them in a specific order and get all the codes, and then go into the thing. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's changed the way the game is played because people are just squatting on the phones, like waiting for people. So like people are just camping everywhere now. And basically, you don't want to go anywhere near vaults. You don't want to go anywhere near phones.
That's probably why I was doing so good earlier, because everybody's trying to do, and I'm just unaware over here playing like normal. You know what I mean?
It switched
earlier,
the whole game up.
I was getting mad kills earlier today, dude. I don't know what it was, but I was just really going in. I wasn't even like, I was just kind of like playing around. I wasn't even trying that hard, and then suddenly I had like 5 kills, and I was like, oh man, I better start trying. You know what I mean?
I've also been hearing word that there is some background, like it's like skill-based matchmaking happening.
I was about to say, it kind of felt like that. It felt like everybody was kind of on my level earlier. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So I think if you're playing on solo, you're going to get some skill-based, matchmaking happening, as well as in like if you're playing quads and stuff like that. I think it bases it somehow. They like get the average skill base and like put you in something like that, but I'm not really sure how that works. But anyways, so there's a lot of cool stuff going on with that. I've been having fun.
Let me know when y'all go on next time. I got it downloaded finally after 87 years of downloading. It is finally on my hard drive, so we can do this.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably be playing, either later tonight or tomorrow for sure.
LMK, bro, because I'll definitely jump in there.
Definitely. I will let you know. But that's all I've been playing because I'm obsessed with that game right now. So
I love that. Oh, I even have a headset coming in tomorrow, so I'll be able to talk all.
Yeah, we go through Discord. We do all of our chatting through Discord. So
it's okay. I could probably hook my headset into the phone or something. Oh wait, no, I can't because I have a new phone.
You can just plug it to your computer.
Yeah, but I can't. Oh yeah, I guess I could use Discord on my computer.
Yeah, what are you talking about? That's how Aaron does it. Or Breezy's, he's just got his Discord app open on the computer.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about, dude?
Well, last time we did it, I was on my phone. I don't know.
Because you were on Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't have to do all that.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm in the future. I'm 2008 over here, and you guys are 2000 and late.
Yeah, dude, it's real sad. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so we're gonna jump on over to the topic of the show, which this week's topic of the show is the rise and fall and potential rise again of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, probably the most notable skating video game series of all time. I know a lot of people like to give credit to Skate, but we would have never had Skate if we didn't have the late great Tony Hawk Pro Skater series, which I think we decided to do this this topic now that the Tony Hawk Pro Skater remake of like 1 and 2 is coming out.
Yeah, and Tony Hawk seems to be all the rage recently for some reason. I don't know what it is, but he's just it's got to be the games coming.
Well, it's because the games are coming out, so he's doing a little media like thing. He's doing YouTube videos. He went on Joe Rogan. He's just out there. He's letting people know he's coming back, and in a big way. The skateboarding is going to be at the Olympics this year. Or next year, now that it got pushed back.
I like that.
Yeah, for the first time ever.
That's really cool. I feel like if snowboarding is in the Winter Olympics, it only makes sense for skateboarding to be in the Summer Olympics.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm excited. I'm glad that skateboarding is getting this big jump in popularity again. It seems to do that a lot. It seems to get really popular.
It comes in waves, yeah.
And I'm just glad Tony Hawk's been there for all of it.
Yeah, it's so true.
Anyways, so what we're gonna do is just kind of talk about each of the games, each of the mainline games. Really, I mean, we can mention the ones that aren't mainline.
Yeah, I have every game ever written down right here,
Okay.
so we can talk about them. There's not very many, so it's okay.
There's not a lot of them, but there is a lot.
17 Tony Hawk games that have ever been made,
God.
so that's not too out of the, you know.
Yeah, but before we jump into it, Dark Sage 9117. I don't know if you want it to be 9117, 9117, 9117, but Dark Sage, no matter what, this is what he says.
Okay.
He wrote this in the chat. He said, "It is not a knock against the pro skater community. I'm sure those games were beloved. Yes, they were. But they are a very niche sort of game that appeals to a select few out there. Unlike,
I don't know about all that.
Well, let him finish his
Okay.
point.
Yeah,
Unlike other games who can that can attract and draw in many people, can the Pro Skater franchise attract in new fans? But I think most sports games in general, if you consider skateboarding a sport, struggle to win over a huge crowd of people. Basically, if you're a sports fan, you will buy a game. If you dislike sports games, chances are you're probably not going to buy that game. When the Pro Skater games come out again on the home consoles, in my opinion, it is going to be hard for them to branch out and pull in a wider audience." Now, Dark Sage, sports games are actually very, 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 very fucking popular. Just so you know, FIFA has been on like the FIFA games and like the EA sports games have been in like the top 10 charts forever. You know,
and
like,
just to counteract the point about sports games being the ones buying these games, like generally, like I don't really watch sports. Okay, I don't watch sports at all. But I'll sit there and play the baseball sports game all day. I'll play the Madden NFL games. I love the UFC EA sports games, one of my favorite games. But I'm sure as shit not about to jump in the cage and fight somebody.
No.
You know what I mean?
MLB The Show has been like a PS4 exclusive for a long time, and they just lost the exclusivity deal to MLB The Show, and that was a big deal that they're losing that exclusivity deal. And I don't play any sports games, but I know there's a lot of people that do. Actually, a lot of people that don't play games on the regular play sports games. You know?
And when it comes to skateboarding games specifically, the first Tony Hawk game, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, was actually very instrumental in like kickstarting skateboarding as a whole.
Yeah.
So it's like, people weren't even that into skateboarding in general before Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 came out, and then all of a sudden skateboarding was like a big deal.
It was thrown into the mainstream.
Yeah.
I think if anything, the game brings more popularity to the sport.
Yeah.
Not vice versa. It's not people that are, like into the sport go play the game, though that happens obviously, but I think you get more people that would have never looked at skateboarding to play it because it's a video game. So like
and also I
get what you're saying, but I think it's a little off just because I know how popular the Tony Hawk franchise is in general. Like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 is still, I think it's like the second most it's like the highest Metacritic score, like the second highest Metacritic score of all time.
Yeah, I think Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is Neversoft's most profitable game of all time or something like that.
Yeah.
I forgot Activision's most profitable game of all time or something. I can't remember, but one of those studios made a shitload of money off of Tony Hawk 3.
Yeah. Which a lot of the people that worked on the Tony Hawk games went on to make the Call of Duty games. So like, it just goes to show that it's a game that has a lot of prominence, and I think whenever it comes back, you'll see that.
Well, and also, you think about how well other remakes have done recently, like Spyro, Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
This is the same market, okay? This is the same people that they're targeting for Spyro remake, for Crash Bandicoot remake. The same people who went out and bought that a million times are going to go out and buy Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake. You know what I mean?
Plus more people. I mean, there's going to be kids that never got to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater because they just weren't around in their heyday, that are going to get this game for the first time and get to experience this. Like I think it's going to blow up. I mean... And by blow up, I mean at least, be potentially opening the doors for more Tony Hawk Pro Skater games.
I think it'll do well enough to where they will make a next-gen Like, I think we'll get Tony Hawk Pro Skater 6 at some point, and it won't suck.
Yeah,
You know
it
what I
won't
mean?
be Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 where they were just, which we'll get into that. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the games. Let's bring them up.
Let's get into that for sure. Okay, so kicking it off, the very first, first of all, you have to consider that this all started in 1999, the Neversoft era of Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So we started with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. Obviously, this game, was revolutionary for a lot of reasons. There were skating games before this, I think, but
Plenty of skating games,
but not like good ones. You know what I mean?
It was actually influenced by a skating game that was out at the time. A lot of skating games at the time were race based, not like race based as in like black or white or
get to the end.
It was like it was basically all downhill racing, or it'd be like do tricks on the way to the end of the race, But this Tony Hawk came out, and it wasn't actually called Tony Hawk. When originally, what they were working on was just a skateboarding game that was based on the assets of a Die Hard game, of like a Bruce Willis Die Hard game. The very first character that they ever used, the very first character asset they had was Bruce Willis.
That's awesome. They should have left that in as an Easter egg. That would have been sick.
They should have, but they did not. They had some other cool Easter eggs, but we'll get into that. But anyway, so they called Tony Hawk and had him come look at this game, and he was all about it. He was so about it that he endorsed it. He was like, you know what? I think I want to be a part of this. And he told them, you guys should have more pro skaters be involved in the game. So like Tony Hawk is the reason we had Bob Burnquist and all these other pro skaters show up, Lisa Streamer, Kareem Campbell, and stuff in the game. But yeah, so he endorsed it, and the rest is history. So
wow, that's really interesting. I didn't know like half of that stuff.
It's the historical nonsense in my brain about video games. But anyways,
so from there we moved on to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Obviously, just as good as the first one, better than the first one. Obviously,
not just as good, so much better in the way that we got Spider-Man as a secret character. The first game only had Officer Dick and Private, what's her name? The chick? Do you remember?
Oh, no, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I always forget her name. But so this one had the secret character, which was Spider-Man. Also, you could get Doom Guy if you played it on PC.
Also, the level breaks were really interesting in this game. Like, you'd grind on something, and it would, like, change the level you're in. Yeah.
Yeah, very
cool. I thought that
cool.
was really cool.
It also added the whole manual system to it. Like in the first game, you could manual, but you couldn't like connect your score. So like you couldn't like do a trick in the air, land back down, and then go into a manual to continue that score. So like it would just break it. That's why the high score and stuff was a lot lower in the first game than it was in the sequel.
Yeah, and at this point, Tony Hawk is still doing great financially, So they move on to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. That's the next game they put out, and it is, it's pretty much the pinnacle of Tony Hawk. You know what I mean? Like,
my personal favorite, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is the greatest Tony Hawk game of all time, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, this is one of those opinions that might vary.
Yeah, well, definitely.
I definitely think that there's a different game that I have the crown on, but I love Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. I think it's got the mechanics. It's got the graphics. I think it's one of the best looking Tony Hawk games for some reason, even though it's one of the older ones. You know what I mean?
Well, it was the first time it used a different physics or a different engine. Tony Hawk 1 and 2 they used the same engine. In Tony Hawk 3, if you got the last gen versions of it before, like if you got the PS1 version of it, it was still really ugly and stuff, and it still had the big drop problem where so you know how in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, if you do like a really high drop, no matter what you're gonna bell, it'll just say caution big drop or whatever. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 took that out, unless you were playing it on the last gen consoles, because it was still in the old engine. Yeah. So, but it also changed a really big aspect, which was the revert system, which allowed you to like land, hit the revert, and continue your shit like into a manual. So Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, I think I just said that you could do that in that one. I lied. You can do the manual, and then like jump and do a kickflip and land back in a manual.
You could chain your tricks. Is
yes,
what you're saying,
you could chain them, but you couldn't chain them out of a half pipe, or you couldn't chain them out of a like quarter pipe. You couldn't land on a quarter pipe, land in a manual, and keep going. Yeah. But in this one, you could. All you had to do was hit revert, then manual. You know, so that was really interesting, and it added a whole new setup, a whole new system. It also added NPCs walking around.
Yeah, man, wow. And you want to talk about secret characters? Fucking 3 had the best secret characters, in my opinion. It had, like, what, Darth Maul, right?
Darth Maul, Wolverine.
Oh, dude. They got the licensing and stuff going in that, you know? I love that.
It was great. I love that game so much, and it really took the whole changing the level thing to the next level.
Oh
so,
yeah, dude.
Like in the Colorado level, where like there's like a guy pissing off of the half pipe or the quarter pipe, and you could grind, and it would knock him off, and he'd just be like, oh
yeah,
like
dude.
fall, like and then but if you grind on that the little part before it raises the half pipe up to where you could get up on that half pipe and then jump to a whole different part of the level you could never reach before. There was just a lot of shit going on in this game. The airport,
the levels all felt bigger too.
Very,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think this is the one. It was either this one or 4 where they dropped the time limit. Was it? I think it was 4 actually.
4's it's got to be 4 because 3 had time limits for sure.
4 drops the. Okay, I guess we can go ahead and move on to 4.
Yeah.
But 4 was also good. 4 dropped the time limit, so like you can like explore the levels as much as you want, and like I don't know, there were things I liked about 4, but I still feel like 3 was a little bit better, just a little bit.
Yeah, it was more. It still had that classic Tony Hawk feel to it. I think 4 kind of got outside of that, where it was more like, oh, just do whatever the fuck you want, but at the same time, it still had some aspects of the old games.
Yeah,
it just didn't feel right to me. I feel like this was where it was starting to get a little off. You know, like it was starting to take a dip. You know, but once again, the next game brought it.
So
brought
the
it
next
back.
game is my absolute favorite Tony Hawk game. You know, you said 3 is your favorite. My favorite is Tony Hawk Underground 1.
Wonderful game.
The reason I like this game so much compared to other Tony Hawk games is because the story
so good
is wonderful. It really gives you that like vibe of like, okay, I'm just a normal kid street skating, and then suddenly I blew up from skating, and it takes you through this whole adventure. You know what I mean? It's like
you got to get your demo tape.
You got to get your demo. Oh, it was so tight, and like making the demo tape was tight. Like you had to set up the big shot and to jump over the fucking helicopter and like.
But all for the ultimate betrayal.
Oh, yeah, to have your demo tape stolen by that guy, dude.
Yeah,
I've never
and he
been so
claims it's
pissed
him.
off, dude. Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah, like only back then that could happen.
He turned pro from it and shit.
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
Oh, dude.
Fuck that guy.
I've never been so pissed off in a game. But then also, like, it was revolutionary because, like, it was the first Tony Hawk game where you can get off your board. Okay?
It was, yeah.
Which made a huge difference. You could, like, climb up to, like, you know, spots where you want to drop in on the ramp and, like, do all kinds of little things like that, you know?
Yeah, which at that time, fuck Eric. Yes, thank you.
Dude,
in the chat.
Dude, that guy knows what's up. Fuck Eric, dude.
Yeah, Phantasm 6 in the chat says fuck Eric, and I agree.
Yeah.
I think everybody would agree with you there. Eric was a sociopathic fucking child. He was like the Sid from Toy Story, but as an adult or as like a teenager. But anyways, yeah. So
the level design was awesome in this game too.
Yeah, like it was perfect at that time because of like Grand Theft Auto had just like reached its like peak, and so everybody wanted to be able to like walk around and do shit in games, and like in this one you had that whole aspect of progression, but it still had like the feeling of a Grand Theft Auto game where there's actually levels where you drive cars.
Oh yeah,
really badly, but
like, it was ghetto. But like they had the go-kart races and stuff, and like you could sketch and like. I remember vividly, like, climbing the telephone pole and, like, shimmying along the telephone wires and stuff, you know what I mean?
Such a cool game, dude.
It really was.
And you got to I think this was the one, It was the one where they had like this whole thing where you could use like the PlayStation camera to like import your face
on the
onto
camera,
the character.
The game face. That's yeah. That was before its time, right there.
It was really bad, but but you could do it. It was like a very like scary Leatherface version of you, but it still looked. It's just like your face stretched across like this like. Horrible graphics. I don't know how to explain it. The textures were just weird, but still a great game. Great music. Even you know,
always great music.
Yeah, we forgot to mention the soundtracks.
Oh man,
I feel like
you go back to every Tony Hawk game we've mentioned, like including
amazing soundtracks.
Underground, yeah.
Which we didn't. We talked about how it threw skateboarding into the mainstream. I feel like Tony Hawk, as the Pro Skater series in general, threw punk rock into the mainstream.
Wow, good point. Good point. Because there were other games with music, licensed music at this point, but not a lot of them had like punk rock music.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Not the good punk rock.
Yeah.
It didn't have fucking Bad Religion. It didn't have Millencolin. You didn't have fucking Zebra Head. You didn't have all this other stuff that like people didn't know about, and also hip hop. Like
a good mix of like music.
Everything, and that's what I'm very excited about for Tony Hawk Pro Skater Remake 1 and 2 is that a lot of people that didn't grow up on punk rock and hip hop, like old school hip hop, are going to get this taste of what we had, it's going to be really cool. You're going to have that song, Superman.
Oh, dude. Spinning like a cyclone.
Oh, yeah. Cyclone?
Yeah,
bro,
dude.
It's going to be classic. It's going to be classic.
It's going to be good. Although, I will
excited.
say, Tony Hawk Underground had some really good music in it, since we're still on the Tony Hawk Underground. Yeah. Tony Hawk Underground 2 had good music in it, too, which I think is the next thing we talk about.
Yeah, which kind of got away from the super serious story that you got in Underground 1.
Which is one of the things that made Underground 1, like,
all that much better.
Yeah.
Underground 2 really took a focus on the Bam Margera aspect of skateboarding.
Because that was what was hot at the time.
Yeah.
Jackass and stuff
Viva
like
La
that.
Bam and all this stuff. So you get kidnapped by the by the Jackass guys, basically, or like the Viva La Bam guys. And then you just go on this crazy adventure of just like doing dumb shit.
The whole plot is like it's like Team Tony versus Team Bam or whatever, and you're like trying to get points. I don't know. It's
really weird.
It was still a lot of fun, but it was like really. It was just goofy compared to the first one. You know what I mean? But it was still fun. I mean, it had good mechanics, and like the gameplay was a lot of fun. And you know what? The PSP remix, Tony Hawk Underground 2 remix, dude, that was
cool
fire.
At the time.
That was one of the best PSP games. One of those forgotten gems, you know what I mean?
Definitely. But I also think this was a turn in the series where it was like it wasn't bad yet, but you could see it was coming.
Yeah,
you could see that.
I think they cut a few corners and realized that people would still buy it. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, it's okay if we don't put all of our effort into these games. You know what I mean? And then it kind of just devolved from there. From there, we got Tony Hawk's American Wasteland,
which was really upsetting. You got some Green Day in the soundtrack.
Yeah, and I mean, the game itself was, like, mediocre. Like, I mean, it was a skateboarding game. You could skateboard in it, you know?
It had a Fall Out Boy song in it, too. I just got to throw that out there.
The DS version of this game was actually pretty good. But overall...
It's kind of whack.
It was kind of whack.
Yeah, it just really kind of lost the heart and soul of what was Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I think at this point, there wasn't much... left of the original feeling of Tony Hawk, and also I think people were just kind of burnt out, you know.
Yeah, like it felt like a rehash, you know. It felt like, okay, let's just get old assets. It looked worse than the Underground game.
It did,
in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I agree, and it had like this whole different like theme to it, like thematic like art to it, you know. Like it kind of took. I really feel like they were trying to take from Green Day. Like, not just the music, but the whole
art
look.
Style, everything,
And I think it was it was old. It was just too much of it was already done.
But then you get the next game, which is somehow even worse.
Yes.
Like this is the absolute, in my opinion, worst game in the fucking Neversoft era, and this is Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam
for the Wii.
For the Wii. Now, this game was actually made because Tony Hawk himself was such a fan of the downhill level of the first game that he was like, oh, we need a whole game of that.
They're like, I don't know, Tony. As game designers and game developers, we don't know if that's a good idea. And he's like,
look at American Wasteland. Look what you did to me.
They're like, you know what, Tony? You're right. Okay, we'll give this to you. Maybe you're right. You were right back in the day.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be right about this. And boy, was he wrong.
Yeah.
Downhill Jam was the worst.
It was the worst.
The absolute worst.
But then,
This game, so Downhill Jam had nothing to do with anything Tony Hawk. You just go downhill.
Just went downhill.
Yeah, it kind of like...
It felt like a temple run or something almost. Like
it basically took the games that inspired Tony Hawk in the first place, the original Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and just tried to be them, which was a horrible idea because nobody cared about those games, really until Tony Hawk came and changed it and made it an arena-based thing.
Yeah.
Like where you weren't just going downhill.
Well, and that's what they were going to do with the original Tony Hawk games, was going to be like an SSX kind of game where you were just going downhill, just like every other skateboarding game up to that point.
Until Tony Hawk was like, no, let's
more
not
interesting,
do that. Yeah. And then, but, it is what it is. This was a different time. They were trying to do different things because they were burnt out on the old school systems and stuff like that. But then, it kind of was a bad idea.
Yeah. But the next game they had was actually, in my opinion, one of those gym games that, like, I don't know, nobody really knows about.
A hidden gem?
It is Tony Hawk's Project 8, okay? Now, this was their, like, attempt at bringing the game back in line with games like Skate and stuff, which had, like, different, like, physics, okay? So Tony Hawk Project 8 had a really innovative, like, when you jump up in the air, everything would go in slow-mo, and, like, you would control your feet with the sticks. So, like, you would do, like, one stick this way, and your foot would kick out this way, and your board would, like... So you'd do these, like, cool tricks by, like, kicking the board in certain ways.
Really focusing on the analog sticks.
Yeah, it was tight. Like, it felt good. The graphics were, like, better than any Tony Hawk game to this point. The soundtrack was absolutely banging. And, like... I don't know. It just didn't do very well. Like,
I don't think it did well because it was obviously a rip on Skate. Like, I feel like Tony Hawk should have kept doing Tony Hawk.
True,
they saw how popular Skate was getting, and they wanted a piece of that pie. But
it's still different. Like, you could play Skate, and it's like it's harder. You know what I mean? Project 8 still felt like easy and
more
playable.
arcadey.
Yeah. Like, it was doable, whereas, like, I don't know, Skate, you really had a learning curve there if you were playing it the right way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
But once again, we lost the heart and soul of Tony Hawk Pro Skater. It's gone. At this point, you're just trying to imitate something else. You're making
a realistic skateboarding game. I think the idea...
I know, but that's not what Tony Hawk is. That's what I'm saying. Tony Hawk Pro Skater was never meant to be real. It was meant to be a fun arcade game.
They were doing the best they could to make a realistic skateboarding game. You know what I mean? It was on an old platform. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily the case, because if you go back to learn about the original Tony Hawk Pro Skater game, they tried to do mocap, and it didn't work like as well as they thought it would. So they're like, fuck it. Let's just animate everything and make it arcadey. So, like, they did kind of go back to just making it an arcade game, a fun game.
Yeah, but
There's never been a time when someone can do the things in Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I feel like Skate was trying to make it as realistic as possible in the way that they were like, let's take this physics-based approach to it and really focus on, like, a guy trying to do a kickflip and it being hard as fuck to land. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what Project 8 was trying to do, was trying to imitate that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Project 8 was definitely more realistic, but at the same time, you can't really blame them for trying to do something different, especially after American Wasteland was basically just a cut and paste of everything that's gotten them to that point so far. I mean, you have to.
It's hindsight 2020. I'm talking out of hindsight, like looking back, like, I wouldn't have done that, but I can't say that because I wasn't the developer of this game that had basically at that time Tony Hawk is the same thing as Call of Duty. You know, like it's just every year it's the same thing, but just a minute difference. It was kind of Tony Hawk had to ride. Tony Hawk had to walk before Call of Duty could become what it was today, before it could run. You know what I'm saying?
I still think Project 8 is the direction they should have gone. You know, from that point on, I think Project 8 is what the game should have been like. And I don't think I'm the only person who really enjoyed Project 8. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's got to be somebody else out there because it was a good game.
There's got to be at least one other person.
But, you know.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. But at the time, it just wasn't what people were looking for because Skate was already there. You know what I'm saying? And Skate was doing it 100,000 times better.
I don't know about all that. I mean,
obviously, you know.
No, just because Skate was more popular doesn't mean it was 100,000 times better. Okay.
It was that much better.
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
Can we go look at the reviews of Project 8?
You can look at all the reviews you want, but it's like, that doesn't necessarily, just because one reviewer didn't like Project 8 or didn't like Skate. One reviewer. I'm just saying, Project 8 was just as good as any Skate game. You know what I mean? And you can say what you want.
Brent will die by those words.
I will die on this hill. I really will. Fuck that. Like, Skate is a fucking.
No, I like your approach to this. I like your look on this game.
Yeah.
Because it's not shared by many, and I think you're right. You know, I think like I said, it's all hindsight approach for me. I'm looking at it in this way of like, you know, like they could have done better, but you're looking at it in the aspect that, or in the perspective of the time that, you know, they couldn't have done better.
Yeah, because you got to look at it in the aspect of the time, because at the time, the graphics were really good. Like now you look at it and you're like, you know, whatever,
trash.
You know, but like at the time it looked really good. First of all, like it was one of the biggest visual steps up we've seen in the Tony Hawk series, the biggest visual leap we've seen in the Tony Hawk series. And like, I don't know, they were trying something different, but it still felt good, you know? And they still had their iconic, like, music and stuff. It had a lot going for it.
Yeah, I think the problem was that it was too little too late. You know, the Skate had already beat them to it. If they would have done it before Skate, then Skate probably would have never happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Or it never would have been a thing. True. But the fact that they were just too late to the punch, you know, I think that's the problem. But anyways, so what do we got after that?
So after that, we went, I guess, you know, they went back to the basics kind of and did the safe thing, and they did Proving Grounds, Tony Hawk Proving Grounds.
And my brain has completely erased this game out of my mind. I don't remember Proving Grounds. I remember it like when I see the cover, and I'm like, well, holy shit, that was a thing. I forgot about that. But I think everybody else forgot about it too.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the problem.
Well, I think the problem is, like, you know, it's just like American Wasteland. It's just like
more of the same.
Kind of just forgettable. You know what I mean? And you know, and that's about when Neversoft said, "Fuck it, I'm done with this." And Ramato took over. Ramato officially put the nails in the coffin of the Tony Hawk series.
They're like, hey, let us fuck this up.
They're like, whoa, it's a semi-fucked up series. Let's fuck it up more.
Let's take it all the way and just have a good old gangbang on this game.
So Ramato,
on this franchise.
Ramato began the Tony Hawk gangbang with Tony Hawk Motion, which is a very, very short DS game with a motion peripheral that you put in the bottom of the DS. And apparently, from what I've heard, this game was only like 10 minutes long. You know what I mean? It felt like a tech demo.
Yeah, it was just a tech sad demo.
Yeah. It had like 5 levels that were all like really, really short and bad. And then they followed that up with Tony Hawk Ride and Shred, which was
absolute garbage. Peripheral all the way. And actually, this was Tony Hawk's fault as well. And he even admits to this at some point, saying like, yeah, I just thought it would be a cool idea.
It was a good idea. It just didn't work out well.
I think this was another problem of Tony Hawk Pro Skater as a franchise looking at other things instead of innovating in their own way. They were looking at Guitar Hero. This was when Guitar Hero was its peak. You know, it was like everybody wanted to be Guitar Hero and Rock Band. You know what I'm saying? So Tony Hawk was like, what if we did that, but with Tony Hawk, and it just didn't work. The technology wasn't there yet. For
yeah,
this.
I was about to say, I think it's the technology thing, because like my problem is like I still think it's a good idea. I think if you could find a way to make it work, it would be fun. You know?
Could just do it in VR without a board.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, that would be the best way to do it, is just Tony Hawk VR without a board.
Like somehow track the feet, and like if you move your feet in a specific way, it does a specific trick or, whatever.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
But at the time, there was no viable VR experience for people. You couldn't just put it on PSVR because that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
You couldn't put it on the Vive because that wasn't a thing. So what they have is a piece of plastic like deck that you just this encumbered thing that you just pull out like a giant log in the middle of your floor, and then you try.
And another problem with this game is like it wasn't implemented very well, just because like, okay, so like you'd be skating, but then your character in the game or whatever is like a third person, so like over the shoulder character. It's not even like a first person view.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's like you're skating, but you're seeing your character in the game skating. I don't know, it just like took me out of it. It's like if you're gonna try to like convince me that I'm skateboarding, like put me in like a first person perspective or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. This is just, this was just their attempt at trying.
The only thing that didn't suck about Tony Hawk, it wasn't Ride, it was Shred. Tony Hawk. The only thing that didn't suck about Shred was that there was like some snowboarding levels that were actually like not terrible with the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like snowboarding worked better, I guess.
But then it's not Tony Hawk.
No.
When is Tony Hawk just
snowboarded?
Yeah, this is some very rocket power idea of just like it's just like suddenly I can skateboard and snowboard just because I can skateboard. But while I'm at it, let's fucking surf dude. Bad ideas all around. This is the fall. Everything after I feel like everything after Underground 2, even Underground 2, you can kind of include in the fall of Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I think Project 8 was a valiant effort that nobody bid on, so they didn't like go with it. You know what I mean? But I think that was a good attempt at bringing it back, but they just didn't.
Well,
it didn't go over well.
Like I said with that, it's that they were no longer the thing that people were trying to follow. They were trying to follow everything else.
Right. It's like when NFL Blitz stopped. Tried to do that game that wasn't like really NFL Blitz. You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you stop being the trendsetter and start following the trends, that's when you start failing.
That's okay. Well, then Remaster did a little better on their next game. They did a remake of Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the original one, in HD.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people did not like this for some reason.
Well, they redid the physics and stuff, and it just wasn't, like, great. You know what I mean? Like,
I know it wasn't great, but we had gone so long without a good Tony Hawk game or a Tony Hawk game at all that I was begging for this. When I found this game on Xbox 360, like the online like arcade or whatever the fuck it was at the time, I downloaded this game. I 100%ed this game. I got every achievement possible in this game. I loved it. Don't give a fuck what anybody says. It was kind of like a mix between 1 and 2. It was almost what's happening right now, just a little bit less, you know? And it didn't have all the songs. It had some of the songs. It did have Millencolin. It did have You. It did have Superman even. It was cool.
Well, apparently a lot of other people thought it was cool too, because it sold enough copies to where they used the exact same engine for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5.
Such a bad idea. But not only did they use the same engine, they made it look worse.
Oh, yeah,
They were like, how about we just give it a cartoony fucking dumbass look?
It looks stupid, dude. Like, it looks really, really dumb.
Like,
the gameplay is bad. Like, it's like no redeeming factors whatsoever.
What do you mean? The redeeming factor is the fact that they use has-been Lil Wayne. Like, as the secret character.
Oh, God.
Like, at this point, they're like, hey, why don't we take a game that's so old and outdated and use this rapper who's old and outdated? Now, I could understand if they threw in like a current rapper, but why Lil Wayne?
Because Lil Wayne skateboards.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm just saying,
When
that's
did
why.
Spider-Man skateboard?
Good point.
Never. When did Officer Dick skateboard?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1.
That's it. That's the only one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying, when did a police officer skateboard? You know what I'm saying? Like like at this point, it was just for fun. Like Lil Wayne is just for fun. You could have used any skater. You could have threw Lil Yachty in. You could have thrown.
But it wouldn't make sense because Lil Yachty doesn't skateboard
Oh, he
for a
rides
hobby.
yachts.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't make sense, Brent. It doesn't matter that.
And if we're talking about outdated rappers, I mean, come on.
At the time, he wasn't outdated.
Lil Yachty.
Yes, at that time, Lil Yachty would have been that new. You know what I'm saying? He would have been that new shit.
I'm just saying.
I'm
on any day of the week, it's a better choice to put Lil Wayne as the secret character
It
than
is
Lil Yachty. It
never
doesn't matter
a good
how
choice.
outdated or in one of them is. Lil Wayne is always the better choice.
To
Than Lil
who?
Yachty.
To you?
To everybody.
No, kids don't know who Lil Wayne is.
Who would you rather unlock? Jamel, be real with me.
Honestly, for fun, Lil Yachty.
Oh, come on. You're just saying that.
I'm not just saying that. I'm saying for fun, Lil Yachty.
So you think it would be more fun to unlock
Yes.
Little Yachty than to unlock
It could have been
Weezy F Baby?
Fuck that. I don't. It could have been anyone. It could have been fucking Snoop Dogg.
Oh, Snoop Dogg would have been great. I think we can
It
all
could have
agree.
been anyone
Yeah.
other than Lil Wayne at that time, because Lil Wayne was kind of, at this point, nobody gave a fuck about Lil Wayne, and they put him in this game. Like even Snoop Dogg would have been a better idea. Is all I'm saying. I'm just saying. And I think I'm right on that. I'm not right about much, but I feel like I'm right about this.
Okay, I will concede that Snoop Dogg is a much better option than Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Okay?
I just didn't want to get stuck on Lil Yachty because
Okay.
I didn't mean that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean specifically Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
I just meant it could have been any rapper.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Fair enough.
But anyways,
So yeah, we've talked about the atrocity that is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. Let us never speak of it again.
yeah, we won't. And I don't even think they will. They're going to pretend this game never happened. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow riding on the popularity of this Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake, that they come out with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5.
Like
And
an actual
they
Tony
just
Hawk
pretend that this one never happened.
That's what, I think the biggest, that's the problem. You couldn't even remake 5 and make it good because
No.
the level design is trash.
It's horrible.
It's like just boxes with rails in it. You know what I mean? Like there's literally a fucking phone game right now called oh god, what's it called? Hang on.
I know what you're talking about.
It's called Tony Hawk Skate Jam, and it is actually better than Tony Hawk 5. Like I'm not fucking bullshitting you right now.
But this gets to the point of the topic where it's the potential rise.
Right.
And this is all laying on what happened, because I guarantee you Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake is going to be amazing.
Oh,
It's going to be wonderful.
it's going to be good.
It doesn't matter who you are, it's going to be great.
We already know Tony Hawk 1 and 2 are good, you know?
Yes.
And we've already seen how good it's going to look. So,
Yes.
I mean, unless there's, just full of game-breaking bugs, there's no way it's going to be bad.
I did notice there's no blood, which is kind of weird.
Really? Maybe you can turn it on and off.
Hopefully. I want blood.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I'm saying. I want smeared, ridiculous blood.
Did you see the mocapped Steve Calabrero or whatever? They have the old version of him, doing tricks and stuff.
I did see that. I don't know how I feel about that, but
I don't hate it.
I'm not against it.
They made him look not super old, you know what I mean, in the game,
a little flattering. Yeah, but anyways, so we're at that point. What happens from here is what happens after this remake is what matters.
Yeah, well, all I know is that Ramato is no longer in charge, and I think that is a huge, huge step in the right direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the skateboard gods.
Hopefully, whoever does Tony Hawk 1 and 2, assuming it's good, does whatever happens next in the Tony Hawk series. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I would love a new game. You know what I want though? Is like a Tony Hawk game like Tony Hawk Underground with like a good story. You know?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Maybe not necessarily like, you know, exactly like Tony Hawk Underground, but like
no, not that kind of like humor and stuff. Obviously, because it's old and not a thing anymore.
Dated, yeah. But I would love that, like, started from the bottom kind of story where you, like,
now
work
we here.
Yes, dude.
I want a game like that. Honestly, I want something like where you feel like you're trying, like okay, the whole skate demo thing, that's gone. You know, like, let's look at today, social media. You know, that's your way of getting known now, is social media. Like, kind of have these things.
Like you're trying to get videos to post online.
Yeah,
and stuff.
like things like that. Like cool ideas like that.
That
Not
would be
saying
a fun
that
gameplay mechanic, is like setting up your camera somewhere and then like doing tricks in front of it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and trying to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get like a cool
like
shot.
Framing your shots and stuff. Yeah, that would be sick.
It'd be neat. It'd be a weird aspect. I'm not saying make that the whole thing or at all, but like take ideas like that. What's popular now?
Or even like a co-op mode where one person plays your photographer and like follows you around the city and like takes pictures of you while you do tricks and stuff. You know?
Give it like a whole Pokemon Snap
that
like
would be kind of sick
mechanic. I don't know, but we'll see. Anyways, you cool with that? We cool with this whole?
I think I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it.
I feel like that was a fun little thing. I think we talked about things that people might not have known.
Yeah.
Or maybe did know and just wanted to hear about.
Yeah.
You know, so cool. That was our topic with Tony Hawk 2, and as Phantasm 6 said, fuck Eric.
Yeah. True.
Anyways, so from that point, now that the topic is over, we have to pick a people's champ. Brent, who do you think the people's champ should be this week?
Oh man, it's gonna be a hard one. This one. This one right here.
Yeah, and we do have one question from or on Instagram that I know of. We might have more at this point, maybe not. Let me check while you're doing that.
Okay, I think I've got the champ here. The champion of the people.
Oh, we do. Okay, here.
Okay, let's see if these guys are champs. Oh, fuck. Okay, all right, yeah, okay. All right, I'm going to give it to Aaron Jones today. Congrats.
Jonesy, once again, this is his third time.
Wow, he's killing it.
Third time champion.
He might be the people's champ. Of the year, I mean. We've all done it. What is the most messed up thing you've done in a video game? Not story or side mission related, but on your own volition.
Well, I think the worst thing, like morally, possibly, would be something I've talked about on here. And it's a problem I have in games like not Tony Hawk, like Grand Theft Auto, or say Red Dead Redemption, where
you kill the hookers.
No, not hookers specifically, but it's where I get this weird serial killer just like vibe going on. Not in real life, obviously, never would be, but in a game, I have this thing where I can do that and not have to feel remorse. You know, so where I will tie people up, maybe put them on a train track or two.
Oh man,
you know, and just leave them to die.
Jeez, yeah.
Not gonna lie,
that's serious.
I have done that.
Yeah.
In Red Dead Redemption.
Wow, that's pretty fucked up, Jamal.
Yeah. So what about you though? You can't. Whoa. I'm just saying, don't cast the first stone, Brent, until I hear what your horrible thing is.
Well, to be honest, it doesn't sound that horrible, but it feels horrible when you do it. Like, okay, the game Blade and Sorcery in VR is like this sword fighting game, But like a lot of times you'll knock the character down that you're fighting, and like they'll get back up and like attack you. So like every time I knock a character down, I like stand over their body and like thrust the sword into their fucking face. You know what I mean? Just to make sure they're dead.
But wouldn't that be part of the game though?
I guess
that's not on your own volition.
Well, I mean it is, because like I could let them get back up, but instead I just like stand over them and shank them prison style like 150 times, you know what I mean?
Specifically in the face.
Or in Boneworks, I don't know. I get a little carried away when I'm like slamming something. Like, okay, there was a part in Boneworks where you like wake up and you're in a prison cell, and like there's one of these creepy like dudes like walking around outside the prison cell. And I'm not going to lie, I grabbed his head through the prison cell and like beat him on the bars of the cell door until he like died. And, you know, I felt a little gross after that. I'm not going to lie.
But isn't that part of the game?
I mean, you didn't have to.
Oh, you didn't have to do that.
No.
You just felt
you're actually supposed to, like, because what I learned later after watching somebody else play through that part is if you like don't just straight up kill his ass, like you find out that he's actually like mimicking your movements, and you're supposed to like make him go over to the door and like push the button to like let you out. So I just killed this innocent thing.
Straight murdered him.
I actually
Brutally.
had to like find another way out of the game, like room that I was in, because like I broke the fucking like mechanics. Like I wasn't, you know what I mean? Like I was supposed to fucking like use him as the way out.
Okay, well, there you have it. We are horrible.
Yeah. Thanks for the question.
Yeah,
Aaron.
thanks for the question. Anyway, so now we're going to move on to the non-champions. But
yes.
Yet, still
champions.
In our eyes. Mm-hmm. But the listener questions. Brent, go ahead and read that. I got to grab something and answer your part of it.
And by grab something, he means poop. He's going to poop.
Actually, no. I was going to... that would take way too long. I'm just getting a Powerade.
gotta go poop real quick. Okay, we got Sophonius Solomon here. This is a new face. What's up, Sophonius? Nice to have a new face around. He says, favorite fighting game.
Oh. Well, I know a lot of people don't think this counts, but Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, that definitely counts. Definitely, 100%.
But I think he means classical fighting game. And in that case, Dead or Alive 3.
Okay. Well, mine probably doesn't count either then. My favorite fighting game is going to obviously be UFC 3. That's like one of my favorite games of all time. But if we're talking about classic fighting games, that's a tough one. You know, probably Dead or Alive 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it's probably the only classical fighting game that I ever really got into.
Soul Calibur 2 is really good too.
Holy shit, I lied. Soul Calibur 2. You can have Dead or Alive 3.
Yeah.
Because I really only got to play Dead or Alive 3 at your house.
It's true.
But Soul Calibur,
we played that a lot.
At my house.
It's a good game.
Yeah, great game. Soul Calibur 2.
Okay. We've got Brittany Noel here. She says, why does outside look so HD?
Wait a minute. What? Like real life outside?
Yeah.
It only looks HD if you have 20/20 vision.
Hey!
Just kidding.
I don't know.
Anyways.
All right. Yeah.
Also, because eyeballs.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yes. Good question.
I love questions like that.
Oh, me too. We got a lot of them. All
right, here we go.
Let's see. We got Kyle McAvoy here.
Oh,
he says,
hello, Kyle.
Is a game truly beaten if your mom didn't see you kill the last boss?
Well, then, if that's the case,
then I've never beat a game. Right?
Because my mom didn't give a fuck.
No, mine either. As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, I like made a point to play games not around my parents because I was afraid they would see me killing hookers or something and like make me turn it off.
Yeah, then I'd never get to play that game ever again, and maybe games.
Yeah,
ever again.
Same here. I like literally didn't play video games with the volume on until I was like 13 because like I didn't want them to cuss in front of my parents and like get my games taken away. You know what I mean?
For real. Sometimes I had to lie and sneak to play video games.
It's true.
In general.
It's true.
Because my mom didn't want me to play them.
Yeah, it was serious over at Jamel's house. Okay. We got Sarah Brock here. She says, Maneater, just a ripoff of the mobile game Hungry Shark?
Don't know.
I don't know. I haven't played Hungry Shark, but it sounds like something I might have to look into.
But Maneater, speaking of, this is a double question here.
Double question.
Super Beaner.
Oh, what up, Super Bean?
Super Beaner on Instagram, or Josh Pantoja in real life, or on Facebook, says, are you going to play Maneater on the stream? Should we? Maybe. I don't know. The game looks cool.
Yeah, I thought about picking it up. You know, I'm just, to me, it looks good, but I'm like, I feel like it's not gonna be good.
I don't know. IGN gave it a 7.
Really?
That's not that bad.
That's pretty good for IGN, yeah.
For a game like that, it looks like a game that would be perfect for a stream.
Yeah.
You know, so if you buy
like Goat Simulator or something?
Yeah. You play as the shark.
Right.
Rather than the person escaping a shark. Actually, you can, like, get on land as the shark.
What?
Yeah, you can, like, hop out and eat shit on land.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it looks great.
Might
looks
have
cool.
to check it out.
Very.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks,
so
guys.
So maybe, yeah, if we get it, Brent's streaming it.
Yeah. Why me?
I'm putting you on it.
Okay. I'm cool with that. I can do that. Let's see. So we've got Christina Rogers here. She says, why the fuck a spider trying to declare war on me? Bitch need to stay up off my headphones and there won't be a problem.
Okay.
I agree.
Yes.
Spiders suck.
And why? Because it's in their nature, Christina.
Yeah. You know, if you just were a little more tolerant, maybe he'd bite you and you'd get spider superpowers and life would just be sweet.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I feel sometimes like maybe we are the virus.
The planet is healing. Okay. So we got Austin Collins here. He says, best plot twist in a video game.
That's easy. And it's going to ruin a lot of games.
Yeah, same.
Or a game. And that's why. But it's an old game.
Yeah.
KOTOR.
KOTOR.
That's
yeah.
it. That's all you got to know.
KOTOR plot
Best
twist.
plot twist in game is KOTOR. Not going to say what it is. If you do want to know, though, by us, go back in time to our episode where we did the best video game
plot twist.
twist.
Yeah, we did an episode about this.
Whole episode.
And I'll
it's
tell you
back
what,
there somewhere.
Second runner-up is Mass Effect, and it's the same like writer responsible. So
Drew Karpyshyn.
the M. Night Shyamalan of video games, dude. You know?
Yes, and Star Wars.
And Star Wars, yeah.
The M. Night Shyamalan of Star Wars.
Okay. Thanks, Austin. Good question.
Very good.
We got Brian Doyle here. He says, where am I? And then Jamel answered already. He said, you're at your computer watching GameSpeak podcast on Twitch at 7:40 p.m. with a little crystal ball.
Yeah, twitch.tv
Yeah.
/ GameSpeak podcast.
So hopefully that's where you are right now, you know?
Yep.
Because otherwise you're fucking up, you know?
Yeah, you are. Or kidnapped, because that's the only reason you wouldn't be watching this. And hopefully the kidnappers are also
watching
fans.
this.
so
you're forced to watch it.
at knife point, where you don't tell them that you are not in the mood to watch this. You just pretend that you don't want this so you can keep watching it.
I want kidnappers to do that to people. I'd be okay. That would be okay with me.
I'd be pro kidnapping.
Yeah, put me on that. Put me
that
on
was
that
the
jury. You know. He stabbed her 13 times, but he forced her to listen to 5 hours of GameSpeak podcast. Like innocent.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Hans Yodel here. He
Hansel.
Hansel. He says, has anyone tried Crucible yet from Amazon? Is it fun? It looks pretty awesome, but all the whining and crying seems a little over the top for something that was just released from the first time game company. So I haven't even heard anything about it, really.
I have. On my Fire Stick.
A lot of whining and crying?
No. I haven't heard anything, but I'm saying, like, I saw a preview for this for the first time when I was watching something on my Fire Stick.
Did it look fire sick?
No. But as Hans said, this is their first game. You know? So let's see. It's
Right.
free to play, right? I
Yeah.
think it's free to
I
play.
think so.
So why not just give it a shot? Give it a go. If it's not that good, I guarantee you Jeff Bezos over there is about to drop one of his billions,
To
of
make it
his
better.
many billions, to make sure that the next game is hot fire. You know?
I hope so.
We'll see. I'll give it a go, though, if it's free to play.
Yeah, I'll try it
Wait,
out.
you're the PC guy. You should be giving it a go. Honestly, with how bad that game looks, I'm pretty sure any laptop could play it. So I'll try it on my laptop.
Yeah, give it a whirl. We'll check it out. We got Zach Beasley here. He says, what day is it?
Well, it depends.
Yeah, well, it depends on when you're listening to this. If you are listening right now, live stream, it is the 26th of May on Tuesday.
Yep.
If you are listening tomorrow,
Whenever it goes on to Apple podcast feeds or, any other podcast feeds, Stitcher, Spotify, then it will be Wednesday, the 27th.
and if you're watching this on YouTube, on the day it drops on YouTube,
It'll be Thursday,
the 28th.
the 28th of
Yeah.
May
Or it could be any other day after those days.
of your life. So honestly, we can't tell you.
Yeah.
You'll just have to look that one up. No, but final question over on Instagram from the Parkour Journal, otherwise known as AJ. He says, Ezio versus Private James Patterson, which Private James Patterson is the main character in the Medal of Honor Frontline.
Oh.
From the 101st Airborne, whatever the fuck.
Well, obviously Ezio is gonna win. I mean,
And
Am I crazy here?
Personally, no. No, I think is he saying versus like they're going to fight each other? Or versus as in like who do we think is better?
no, they're gonna fight each other.
Okay,
Death
all right. We're
match,
going to make it a
hand-to-hand.
death match. Okay. Then yeah, probably Ezio, just because he's an assassin.
Yeah, trained
Though-
in the art of killing.
Though James Patterson, Private James Patterson, single-handedly took on the Nazis. He's like
It's true.
he's like B.J. Blazkowicz.
He is kind of like a B.J. Blazkowicz.
Yeah, like he.
But see, that's if he's got a gun. You know what I mean? He did stab a few of those Nazis.
Yeah,
but none of those Nazis were Ezio Auditore. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Serious
I
business.
think it'd be a good fight. I
It
think
would
it'd
be a good
one
fight. I
for
think
the
it would
books.
depend if there were weapons involved. You know what I mean?
Well, Ezio has to use weapons too. He has that weird secret spy blade.
He would
Or
definitely have
assassin's blade.
I feel like if it was just totally unarmed, Ezio would have the edge just because he knows more like snap your neck, Steven Seagal shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's in fist fights a lot in the
But
game.
that's so dumb. I'm just saying, if you took away the weapons, then what's the point of the fight?
Well,
you got to
my
keep the
point
weapons.
is, if you keep the weapons and they're like in like a gladiator arena, obviously Ezio is just gonna get shot. You know
Not
what I mean?
necessarily. He's an assassin that can like
He
fucking
can't
jump from
dodge
like
bullets,
10
though.
stories and land in a hay bale and be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like you're looking at there's still video game
I
characters.
mean, if he's pulling out like an MP40 or something and just, you know what I mean? I mean, there's not
yeah, I'm
much of a
thinking
chance.
that Thompson's gonna lay him to waste.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if we're talking like he's got a full arsenal of World War II weapons, and it's like
No. Okay, say we narrow it down to he just has like say the Colt that you start
I
with.
still I think if you give him any gun, he's gonna win that fight.
You think so?
Unless Ezio has some kind of like throwing knife that he just does really, really fast, you know what I mean? But he'd have to get that like he'd have to get that first throw off perfect, you know what I mean?
All right. This is a hard one.
It is a hard one.
Yeah.
And also, you know, okay, do they know like the other one's coming? Like, does Ezio
Yeah,
have a chance
it's
to
a
like
battle.
Does Ezio have a chance to like sneak up on him? Because if Ezio can get the drop, then there's no way. Even with guns, it would be like Predator. Or
Okay,
something,
check it.
you know
Check
what
it
I
out.
mean?
Check it out. This is how we'll make this work. All right. Think of it like that Splinter Cell whatever that game was called, Conviction or whatever, where one team is like a first-person shooter, the other one is the third-person like stealth guy. So like you put him in this giant map. It's 1v1, and he starts out on one side. He's got his gun, but Ezio has to sneakily get to him and kill him without him seeing, so it's like that situation set up.
I think honestly it would come down to like, is he aware of the situation?
Yeah, they're both aware of the situation. They're starting at one end of the map. Each one starts at a different end of the map, and they have to survive. They got one life.
I'm always going to bet on the guy with the gun,
Even though Ezio could just sneak.
Yeah.
It's not like he sees him. He doesn't see him directly.
I think Ezio would have a good chance of getting him if he like hid in like the rafters of the roof or something.
And there's like there's like random like structures he can climb on and stuff. He might be able to drop down on him.
He'd have to drop down on him or something. Use his like verticality to his advantage. You know what I mean?
And there's a bunch of NPCs that he can blend in with.
Oh, okay. So if we're in like a crowded area, this might be a little different.
Still gun versus, assassin, but it adds different layers to it.
It'd be an interesting one. Ezio versus Agent 47.
That would be intense, but it'd also be guns. And I think Agent 47 would have a better chance than James Patterson would in that situation with guns.
Definitely.
Just because he's way more trained. It'd
be kind of a cool game, though, like a spy versus spy kind of thing.
Ooh, they should do that for sure. Anyways, that's it. That's our listener questions. We didn't even say who would win, but wait, you said you think it would be James?
I think if we have guns, James. If not, Ezio.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it for our listener questions. Thanks so much, guys. We are now going to wrap up the show with
BRENT's Super Hardcore Video Game Trivia Challenge. These are 5 questions made to order, hot and fresh, with a side of grilled onions. This week's topic is Far Cry.
Ooh, so easy. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually probably going to be pretty hard. You get into the minutia a little bit. So
I think these should be semi-easy. Some of them.
All right, drop them.
Some of them. All right, number 1. What state does Far Cry 5 take place in?
It is in... It starts with an M.
Yep.
Montana?
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, there's only a few M states, so I think you can get...
I knew it was an M.
Okay.
Sweet. Got one.
Sorry if these are really easy. I was like half asleep when I was making these last night.
It's all good.
Number 2. Far Cry 1 begins with protagonist Jack Carver clinging to the top of a sailboat for dear life, only for the boat to explode and launch him into the ocean. Why does the boat explode?
Doesn't like a helicopter shoot it or something? Shoot a barrel or something? Something explodes. I don't remember.
It's pretty close. A guy actually shoots an RPG at it from the shore.
So close. The helicopter shooting a barrel to a guy shooting an RPG on.
Pretty close. Yeah.
I knew something blew up, but I don't remember how. Anyways.
All right, number 3. In Far Cry 2.
This is the only one I've never played.
That's okay. You probably still know the answer to this. What disease do you battle throughout the game?
Malaria.
Yeah, there you go. Boom, boom. All right. Number 4. In the beginning of Far Cry 4, what popular Chinese appetizer does Pagan Min offer you?
Chinese appetizer?
Yes.
Oh, man. See, I didn't... Oh, actually, I didn't play this one either.
Really?
I played 3, 5, and 1.
Dude, 4 is so good. Honestly, I think 4 is the best in the series. And that's just my opinion, but I love 4. Like...
Is it wonton soup?
Oh, you're close. It's crab rangoons.
I would have never got that.
That's okay.
Okay.
All right. Number 5. Name the spin-off games for Far Cry 3, 4, and 5.
That's fucking fucked up. All right. Blood Dragon.
Okay. You got this.
Primal.
You got this. What's 5?
I forget what it's called. I know what it is, though.
Oh, man. You got the 2, like, hard ones.
I feel like those are more obvious.
The one that just came out is, like, eluding you.
It's like something... I know it's like after the nuke goes off.
Yeah, you know it. You know, you've got the picture, the cover is in your head.
What's the first letter? What's the first letter? Give me that. Give me
N. I'll give you the first word. New.
So it's Far Cry New. No, wait, that's fucking
No,
Twilight.
that was it. That was it.
Was it Dawn?
New Dawn, yeah.
New Dawn? I was like, isn't that a Twilight movie?
You had it. That was it. All right, I'll give it to you.
All
So that's 3 out of 5. I think you win. I think
Hell
you win
yeah, I
this week.
finally won. I'd like to thank my mom, my pops. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so thanks, guys. Yeah, that was a good show today. Remember, you've been listening to GameSpeak Podcast, courtesy of CreateForSanity.com. The show posts for free every Wednesday on all podcast directories. Be sure to submit any questions you want read on the show to the GameSpeak Podcast Facebook group at facebook.com/group/GameSpeak Podcast. Check out our video content on youtube.com/CreateForSanity. And if you want to stay up to date with your boys, you can find me on Twitter at the handle Al Jaffer Jamel and Brent at Brent Has One. That's the number 1. And check out the GameSpeak Podcast Instagram. Until next time, listeners, later.